Chapter 197. Ha ha ha, Tang-ao, you are just trash at the 7th level of the origin martial realm, an ordinary person with an ordinary bloodline. What makes you think you can kill me? It has been delayed for so long, it should be over. After Murong Hua finished speaking, his 12 life spirits were rapidly compressed together. Not to mention Luo Tsai, even the reincarnated demon Venerable, Tang-ao, had never seen such a method. Even so, Luo Tsai and Tang-ao knew that this move was very powerful. It could be seen from the aura faintly leaking from the top of Murong Hua's head. Once Murong Hua used this move, this area would probably be turned into nothingness in an instant. In this way, although Murong Hua would undoubtedly die, Tang-ao and Luo Tsai would certainly not be able to escape. Tang-ao, we can't let him use this move. This was the center of Qingchuan town. Once Murong Hua compressed his 12 life spirits and self-destructed here, not many residents in this town would be able to survive. Tang-ao naturally understood Luo Tsai's words. However, the 7-colored arrow condensed by the 7-kill slaughtering art had not been condensed yet, so it could not be shot out. Feeling the increasingly powerful and terrifying fluctuations coming from Murong Hua's side, Tang-ao knew that he could not delay any longer. Thinking of this, Tang-ao bit the tip of his tongue and the blood in his body slowly burned. He had already begun to burn his blood essence to speed up the condensation of the 7-colored arrow. If it was only because Murong Hua had killed many innocent people, even if Tang-ao wanted to kill Murong Hua, he would not risk his life like this. Tang-ao could even use the space-piercing snake's power to break through space to escape the instant Murong Hua detonated the 12 life spirit. However, Tang-ao could not leave because he had promised that he would protect her. Looking at Luo Tsai, who was in a corner with a somewhat frightened expression, Tang-ao smiled at her. At that moment, Luo Tsai's spiritual power was sealed by Murong Xiaojie's spirit-sealing spell. She really wanted to go up and help Tang-ao, but her body was extremely weak, and it was extremely difficult for her to even stand up. Who knew that at this time, Tang-ao would cast a smile at her? As the daughter of the 7-kill sex leader, Luo Tsai had a very good understanding of the 7-kill slaughtering art. Based on the speed at which Tang-ao condensed the 7-colored arrows, Luo Tsai had a deep understanding of the 7-kill slaughter art. Murong Hua's attack of exchanging death for death was something that Tang-ao absolutely could not block. But somehow, when she saw Tang-ao's smile, Luo Tsai felt at ease. Could it be that I'm going to die here today? Has everything become indifferent? Seeing that Tang-ao was still looking at her, Luo Tsai also gave Tang-ao a smile, but Luo Tsai's smile was somewhat bitter. This bitterness was not because his life was about to disappear, but because in his life, a person who could touch his soul had finally appeared. But before she could express her feelings, she had to leave this world. Luo Tsai felt a little regretful, but at this moment, a large patch of Tang-ao's hair instantly turned white at a speed visible to the naked eye, and the 7-colored arrow also let out a crisp, explosive sound. The 7-colored arrow was completed. The bow was drawn like the autumn moon in the sky, and the arrow was shot out like a meteor falling to the ground. A 7-colored arrow wrapped in earth-shattering power instantly pierced through Murong Hua's heart as if it was tearing through space. And on the mixture of the 12 life spirits in front of Murong Hua, there was also a thumb-sized hole. Chapter 198. After Murong Hua died, Murong Hua's soul tablet, which was hung in the Murong family's ancestral shrine, instantly shattered. When the deacon in charge of guarding the soul tablet saw this, his expression changed greatly, as if the sky had collapsed. He hurriedly ran to report to Murong Jie. "Master, something bad has happened. Second young master's soul tablet." The deacon did not finish his words. He also saw Murong Jie holding a broken soul tablet with an ashen face. As the master of the Murong family, Murong Jie naturally had the other set of soul tablets in his hands. The deacon knew about this, but he did not expect the master to carry the Murong family's soul tablet with him. Investigate. Murong Jie did not say anything more. At this moment it was useless to say more. He only wanted to defend the dignity of the Murong family with action. In the deep night, Tang Ao rubbed his fainted head. At this time, he was lying on a comfortable big bed. Looking at the surrounding facilities, Tang Ao knew where he was. This was the Clear Spring Inn. Although not many people came, the environment was quite elegant, so Tang Ao had some influence on this place. Tang Ao was lying on the bed, but Luo Tsai was asleep on the table next to him. After killing Murong Hua this evening, he fainted due to exhaustion. Obviously, Luo Tsai brought him here. Suddenly, Tang Ao realized something. Because Tang Ao was not present when Luo Tsai was captured by Murong Hua, Tang Ao did not know how Luo Tsai was captured by Murong Hua. Tang Ao had already experienced Murong Hua's means, but in Tang Ao's view, Murong Hua should not have the ability to capture Luo Tsai quietly. This meant that Murong Hua had helpers. Thinking of this, Tang Ao hurriedly got up and woke Luo Tsai up. "Tsai, wake up." Tang Ao was very anxious in his heart. If Murong Hua really had a helper, they should be able to find this place very soon. Unexpectedly, Luo Tsai said after waking up, "You're so annoying. You've slept enough, but you won't let me sleep." As she spoke, she staggered to the big bed. After her spiritual power was sealed, Luo Tsai would easily feel tired. But at this moment, how could he let her sleep here? Tang Ao had a premonition that a dangerous aura was slowly approaching. "Tsai, wake up. You were caught by Murong Hua alone today." Hearing what Tang Ao said, Luo Tsai was immediately unhappy. "Although I'm not as powerful as you, I'm not that bad, right? I was ambushed by Murong Hua and a Sea of Souls realm warrior, which was why I was caught by them." Although she did not want to admit it, after watching the battle between Tang Ao and Murong Hua, Luo Tsai knew that even if Tang Ao's cultivation realm was lower than hers, Tang Ao's strength was already enough to suppress her. When Tang Ao heard this, he thought to himself that it was indeed so. At this moment, although he had recovered the ability to move, the consumption in his body had not completely recovered. Therefore, fighting with a spiritual sea realm elite was simply seeking death. After hesitating for a moment, Tang Ao said with a strange expression, "Tsai, I'll help you remove the spirit sealing spell first." When Luo Tsai heard that Tang Ao could remove the spirit sealing spell, her beautiful big eyes suddenly brightened. "You know how to remove the spirit sealing spell? Great, quickly help me remove it. It's so uncomfortable." Luo Tsai was like a child, holding Tang Ao's arm and swinging it back and forth. Maybe because he was too excited, Tang Ao felt that his arm kept rubbing against the soft parts of Luo Tsai's body, but Luo Tsai did not seem to notice. Chapter 199. I can help you break the spirit sealing curse, but my current cultivation is too low, so I have to remove the curse on your body, Tang Ao said with some embarrassment. He was a man, so it was okay, but Luo Tsai was a girl, so it was a bit embarrassing. Hearing Tang Ao's words, Luo Tsai couldn't help but shiver. The spirit sealing curse was on her body, so she naturally knew where the curse was. If Tang Ao was a girl like her, it wouldn't be a problem, because the curse was right on her chest. While Luo Tsai was still hesitating, Tang Ao suddenly said, "Forget it, I'll take you back to the sect. The sect master and the elders should have other ways to help you break the spirit sealing curse." Tang Ao was lying to her. As a reincarnated demon, how could he not know that there was only one way to break the spirit sealing curse? Tang Ao walked towards Luo Tsai, but just after 2 steps, Tang Ao's legs went soft, and he collapsed to the ground. In the battle this evening, he burned his own blood essence, and the loss of so much blood essence obviously couldn't be recovered in a few hours. Seeing Tang Ao fall to the ground, Luo Tsai hurriedly helped him up. Then Luo Tsai said firmly, Help me break the spirit sealing curse. Although Luo Tsai was ignorant of the world, she was a talented and intelligent person. Thinking of Tang Ao asking how she was caught, and thinking of Murong Hua being killed by Tang Ao, Luo Tsai also realized that she and Tang Ao were in danger. The person who sneak attacked her and sealed her spiritual power this evening was definitely a Sea of Souls realm warrior. Once he found out that Murong Hua was dead, he would obviously come to find trouble with her and Tang Ao. At the moment, Tang Ao had no power to fight again, and his spiritual power was sealed. If Murong Yi, who had sealed his spiritual power, came here, then she and Tang Ao would be dead. Thinking of this, Luo Tsai didn't hesitate and asked Tang Ao to quickly help her break the spirit sealing curse. Once the spirit sealing spell was released, she could immediately take Tang Ao away from here. Even if they couldn't escape, they wouldn't fall into a miserable situation where they were at the mercy of others. Tang Ao looked at Luo Tsai with some doubts. Why did this girl suddenly become enlightened? But Tang Ao did not dare to delay. Tang Ao immediately closed his eyes and handed his hand to Luo Tsai. Junior Sister Tsai, put my hand on the seal, and I will break the spirit sealing spell for you. Don't worry, I can't see anything. A girl's reputation was the most important thing. Although he wasn't a gentleman, he would never take advantage of others. Luo Tsai cursed in her heart after hearing this. Put your hand on the curse mark? You've already touched it. What do you mean by saying that you didn't see it? Was he trying to avoid responsibility? Although she thought so, Luo Tsai hurriedly pressed Tang Ao's hand on the seal. Tang Ao instantly held his breath, calmed his mind, and concentrated. Then, a dark inscription appeared on Tang Ao's palm. Open! Tang Ao shouted in a low voice. Something in Luo Tsai's body made a ka sound. Obviously, Tang Ao had broken the spirit sealing curse. After breaking the curse mark, Tang Ao felt that the place where his palm touched was soft and very comfortable. Chapter 200. After recovering her spirit power, Luo Tsai tidied up her clothes and was ready to leave with Tang Ao. But at that moment Tang Ao frowned. Then, a powerful palm power smashed the door of Tang Ao and Luo Tsai's room into wood shavings. Mu Rongye walked in angrily. However, the two little mice that were here just a moment ago had disappeared. Mu Rongye felt that it was very strange. In the corner of the room, Tang Ao and Luo Tsai were curled up in the corner of the room. There were 4 array flags surrounding a square, trapping the two of them in the square. Seeing Murongyi looking around in the room, Tang Ao and Luo Tsai were a bit worried. Murongyi was a 3rd-level Sea of Souls realm warrior after all, and Luo Tsai herself was not sure if her temporary illusion array could fool him. Other than Tang Ao and Luo Tsai, there was another person who was anxious. It was Ouyang Qilian, who had been secretly lying on Tang Ao and Luo Tsai's roof. Ouyang Qilian came to kill Tang Ao under Ouyang Duan's order. After some investigation, he found out that Tang Ao was resting in this room of the Clear Spring Inn. Therefore, he lay on Tang Ao's roof, waiting for a chance to attack. At that moment, the Scorpion God Knight that Ouyang Duan gave him had turned into a leaf-shaped pattern on his palm. He had grown up with Ouyang Duan. After coming to the 7 Kills Martial School, he had gone out with Ouyang Duan many times, so he had seen Ouyang Duan use the Scorpion God Knight a lot. Now, it was as if this Scorpion God Knight was tailor-made for him. After getting it, he quickly learned how to use it. Hearing the noise in the room under the roof, Ouyang Qilian made up his mind and flew into Tang Ao's room through the window. He did not have the patience to wait anymore. Raising the level of a 7th-level origin martial realm warrior had wasted so much of his time. Just as Ouyang Qilian flew into the room, a sharp palm wind slashed toward him. Worthy of being the person that Xiao Ho Linyuan wants to kill, you do have some skills. With Scorpion God Knight's help, Ouyang Qilian's power had also increased to the 1st level of the Sea of Souls realm. If he had not used Scorpion God's Knight in advance, there was an 80% chance that Murong Ye's palm would have killed him. However, Ouyang Qilian was also secretly surprised. Could it be that this little brat Tang Ao also has an artifact that can temporarily improve his cultivation? Why does it feel like Tang Ao's cultivation is higher than mine? Although Tang Ao's cultivation was high, Ouyang Qilian was not afraid. On the way here, Ouyang Qilian had used Scorpion God's Knight to kill a third-rank first-rank demon beast, so his confidence had already exploded. On the other hand, Murong Yi, who was facing Ouyang Qilian, sneered as he sensed the spiritual power erupting from the Scorpion God's Knight. Murong Ye's expression was very gloomy. Just like the Murong family's unique soul-sealing spell, this Scorpion God's Knight was also a unique treasure of the Tang family. It was said that the Tang family had a total of 4 Scorpion God's Knight, and the person in front of him had such a rare item. This person's status in the Tang family was obviously not high enough. Killing him would make up for the second young master's death. Although the candle in the guest room had been extinguished by Tang Ao, the 4 people in the room were not ordinary people. Even so, they could clearly see each other's movements. After the initial confusion, Ouyang Qilian immediately came back to his senses. He had been too anxious. The old man in front of him was not Tang Ao at all. He had the support of Scorpion God's Knight. If he had encountered Tang Ao, he might have been able to turn Tang Ao into minced meat with that punch. Moreover, he had investigated Tang Ao's background. He was only from a small town, so how could he have such a high-end secret art? Chapter 201. Ouyang Qilian did not want to fight, but Murong Yi was fighting with all his might. From the short exchange just now, Murong Yi was sure that the brat had the power to kill Murong Hua. He also learned from the surviving guards of the Spring Restaurant that it was a brat from the Tang family who killed his beloved disciples, Lu Huzi and Mu Rong-ing. He also found out that the brat from the Tang family came to the Spring Town with the girl who was kidnapped by Murong Hua. It was possible that the brat from the Tang family and the little girl were partners. After seeing his partner being bullied by Murong Hua, the brat lost his temper and killed Murong Hua. The more Murong Yi thought about it, the more reasonable he felt. His hands moved a bit faster. He was just testing his opponent's strength. Now that he knew, there was no need to hold back. Ouyang Qilian looked at the old man's increasing attacks and became anxious. "Sir, you've got the wrong person. If you continue to push me, don't blame me for being rude." If the opponent was only an Origin Martial Realm warrior, Ouyang Qilian would not waste time and kill him easily. However, the opponent was a 3rd level Sea of Souls Realm warrior, so Ouyang Qilian did not dare to be presumptuous. Murong Yi heard Ouyang Qilian ask him to stop, but he did not have any intention of stopping. What? The legendary Scorpion God Knight only has this much power? Or is the person using Scorpion God Knight too useless? Ouyang Qilian was furious. "Old man, don't be so arrogant. Die." A huge transparent scorpion appeared behind Ouyang Qilian, and Ouyang Qilian's 11 life spirits were distributed around the scorpion's joint. "Humph! You only have 11 life spirits, and you dare to come out and embarrass yourself," Murong Yi said as 33 life spirits broke out of his body. Seeing this, Ouyang Qilian felt a bit guilty. Although he had reached the Sea of Souls realm with the help of Scorpion God Knight, he did not have the corresponding life spirit to use. Run! Without a doubt, Ouyang Qilian wanted to steal it, but Murong Yi obviously did not want to let him go. A stealthy black claw from the 19th level of heaven reached out and caught the escaping Ouyang Qilian. After being caught by the stealth black claw, Ouyang Qilian immediately felt an unprecedented sense of crisis. 8 gleaming steel blades instantly tore through the air and shot towards Ouyang Qilian. In the corner of the guest room, Tang Ao sked his lip. Tang Ao was very familiar with this life soul. He had possessed it in his previous life. It was the soul suppression 8 sabers life soul from the 21st firmament. Seeing the 8 soul subduing blades pierce Ouyang Qilian's body, Tang Ao knew that Ouyang Qilian was dead for sure. Tang Ao hated the fact that he hadn't recovered yet. Otherwise, Tang Ao wouldn't have missed this golden opportunity. Although the soul-suppressing 8 blades was powerful, there was a very serious flaw when using it. When using the soul-suppressing 8 blades to lock onto the enemy, the user's body could not move. Ouyang Qilian spat out a mouthful of blood. He could feel the life force in his body rapidly fading away. He could not believe that he had died so carelessly. After following Ouyang Duan for so long, he had naturally killed many people from the same sect. However, it was only today that he realized that death was such a painful thing. At this moment, Ouyang Duan's heart was filled with endless hatred. He hated Murong Yi who killed him, hated Tang Ao who was hiding somewhere, hated Ouyang Duan who instigated him, and even hated himself. However, none of this mattered because he was about to die. Before he died, he only wanted to do one thing, and that was to avenge himself. Under Murong Ye's horrified gaze, Scorpion God Knight wiped a bloodstain on Murong Ye's cheek. Following that, a putrid black smoke immediately emitted from Murong Ye's wound. Murong Ye's body was quickly pulled out. When the black smoke filled the room, there was only a pair of tattered clothes left on the floor where Murong Yi was standing. Murong Yi himself had completely disappeared from this world. Chapter 202. Seeing Ouyang Qilian and Murong Hua die together, Luo Tsai let out a sigh of relief. I didn't think Ouyang Qilian would come here, and he's already a Sea of Souls realm warrior. Luo Tsai's beautiful eyes were filled with doubt. Ouyang Qilian was only ranked 12th on the 7 kills sex dragon and phoenix list, but he was so powerful that even Dongswini, who was ranked 1st on the dragon and phoenix list, might not be able to defeat him. Luo Tsai and Tang Ao were hiding in the illusion array, and Ouyang Qilian had already activated Scorpion God Knight. Therefore, Luo Tsai couldn't see anything wrong with Ouyang Qilian. But Tang Ao, who had cultivated the Heaven Eye art, clearly saw that after Scorpion God Knight left Ouyang Qilian's body, his cultivation instantly fell to the 7th level of the Origin Martial Realm. On the ground, Murong Yi had already been corroded into a pile of clothes by Scorpion God Knight. The one who sealed your spirit power is this old man? Yes. Looks like he's from the ancient Murong family. It seems like the Murong family has been tyrannical these years. They actually dared to bully me. I must tell my father and grandfather when I return. Luo Tsai thought. This time, I wanted to relax and adjust my state of mind to deal with the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix ranking. I didn't expect so many things to happen. Tang Ao laid on the big bed, aching all over. The battle with Murong Hua in the evening still hadn't eased up. Luo Tsai was not happy to hear that. It's rare to have a chance to play with me, but you don't want to. Next time, I'll go with Senior Dongswini. No matter what happens, Senior Dongswini can protect me. Seeing Luo Tsai suddenly angry, Tang Ao was stunned. He was just casually sighing. Why did so many problems arise? Junior Tsai, that's not what I meant. Don't call me Junior Tsai. My cultivation is higher than yours, so you have to call me Senior Tsai. Luo Tsai sat on the corner of the bed and said angrily. In the resting area of the 7 Kills sect, Luo Tsai handed a scroll to Tang Ao. Thank you for the gift. This is my thank you gift. Then, Luo Tsai waved to Tang Ao and left. The reason why Luo Tsai's mood had become so beautiful was, of course, that Tang Ao had given her more than half of the gifts he had received from the Clear Spring restaurant. Looking at all those strange things, Luo Tsai's mood instantly turned from cloudy to sunny. Looking at the jade slip in his hand, Tang Ao probed it with his soul power. After browsing for a while, Tang Ao's body instantly trembled. This was because the jade slip recorded a martial skill called the 7 Slaughter Divine Way. On the other hand, the seven slaughter technique of the seven slaughter sect was a simplified version of the seven slaughter Saint Tao. The reason why it was simplified was because the seven slaughter art was only formed from a portion of the first volume of the seven slaughter divine way. In Tang Ao's opinion, on this continent, there should be no one who could understand the seven slaughter divine way except for him. This was, of course, not because the seven slaughter divine way was too obscure and difficult to understand, but because the words that recorded the seven slaughter divine way were not the common language of this continent, but the language of the demon race. Tang Ao was the reincarnation of the demon lord, so he was naturally very familiar with this kind of demon race language. With this scroll, Tang Ao returned to his residence in a good mood. He had never thought that the seven slaughter divine way, which was famous in his previous life but had been lost for a long time, would be so easily obtained in this life. Chapter 203. In the Seven Kills Martial School, every disciple from the Ouyang clan had two supporters. One was Ouyang Duan, and the other was the dead Ouyang Qilian. Tang Ao, how dare you? How dare you kill someone from the Ouyang clan? Ouyang Duan threw a jade cup on the ground and yelled, "Brother Duan, we have to take revenge. Why don't we report this to the school? Killing people from the same school is a capital offense." Ouyang Ming is right. As long as we report this to the school, Tang Ao will be dead for sure. Even if he was friends with the fifth elder would not be able to protect him. No. You say it like it's easy, but where do we have proof? This is a bit strange. Ouyang Qilian is already at the Sea of Souls realm with the help of Scorpion God Knight, and Tang Ao is at most at the 7th level of the Origin Martial realm. No matter what he does, he should not be Ouyang Qilian's opponent. While they were talking, a disciple from the Ouyang clan ran in. "Brother Duan, we found Qilian's body. He was killed by Murong clan's soul-suppressing 8-blade. What? It was done by the Murong clan?" Ouyang Duan was very confused. Among the 6 clans of the ancients, they all acted on their own on the surface, but they had secretly formed an alliance. He did not know about the other clans, but he knew that the Ouyang clan and the Murong clan had been in an alliance for a long time. Ouyang Qilian joined the Seven Kills Martial School at the same time as him, and was always with him when he went out to train. He had never offended any disciple from the Murong clan, so how could he be killed by someone from the Murong clan? Ouyang Qilian also had Scorpion God Knight, which was already at the 1st level of the Sea of Souls realm. Even if he wanted to kill him, it would not be that easy. Where was Qilian killed? Did you find my Scorpion God Knight at the scene? Ouyang Duan did not think too much about Ouyang Qilian's death. Different from the other clans, as long as one was a direct descendant of the Ouyang clan, he or she could inherit the position of the clan leader. Ouyang Qilian was the same as him, a direct descendant of the clan. His death meant one less competitor. Compared to Ouyang Qilian's death, he was more concerned about Scorpion God Knight, which he had lent to Ouyang Qilian. Although those without the bloodline of the Tang clan could not unleash the full power of Scorpion God Knight, it was still a rare treasure. This time, he was worried that Ouyang Qilian was afraid of Tang Ao's 7 slaughter art. That was why he had lent Scorpion God Knight to Ouyang Qilian to boost his courage. He never thought that Ouyang Qilian would be killed by the Murong family out of the blue. The few of us searched the entire Spring Inn, but we couldn't find Big Brother Duan's Scorpion God Knight. It must have been stolen by some thief. Ouyang Duan let out a long sigh. Fine then. This Scorpion God Knight belongs to the Tang clan in the first place. It doesn't matter if it's lost. Big Brother Duan, what about Tang Ao? Now that the arena for the Dragon and Phoenix rankings is right around the corner, I don't have the mood to deal with him. If he was eliminated early, then he would be lucky. If he is unlucky enough to bump into me, I will naturally make him regret being born into this world. In the wooden house that Tang Ao was in, Tang Ao was sitting cross-legged on his stone bed with a joyful expression on his face. The Seven Slaughter Divine Way was indeed extraordinary. With the foundation of the Seven Slaughter art, Tang Ao's progress in cultivating the Seven Slaughter Divine Way was godly. In less than half a day, Tang Ao had already comprehended more than half of the Seven Slaughter art. As he thought about the upcoming battle for the top 10 ranks of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings, Tang Ao was filled with pride. Chapter 204. It was different from the ranking battle a few days ago. This time, it was a ranking battle for the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. This battle represented the highest standard of the 7 Kills sect's younger generation. Thus, almost everyone from the 7 Kills sect gathered below the stage. For this battle, the top 10 experts of the 7 Kills sect, who were rarely seen, would all go up the stage to fight. Some of the dark horses that emerged from the Dragon and Phoenix rankings this time would also challenge the top 10 famous experts of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. The 7 Kills sect had a total of 49 experts on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. There was also a widely acknowledged saying that among the 47 experts on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings, the top 10 were on a different level, while the rest were on a different level. Therefore, everyone was looking forward to seeing an expert ranked below the top 10 on the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboards successfully challenge an expert ranked in the top 10. Although everyone held such expectations for the Dragon and Phoenix rankings every time, hoping for a dark horse to appear and defeat the top 10 experts of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings, the few people with great potential every year would be defeated by the elites of their previous lives. There was only one arena for the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboard's top 10 ranking battles. At this moment, Zhou Dajiang, who was ranked 17th on this year's Dragon and Phoenix leaderboard, challenged Jiang Zhulu, a famous expert on the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboard. Zhou Dajiang was at the 8th level of the Origin Martial Realm. He was one of the top inner sect disciples. Zhou Dajiang summoned 15 life souls and fought in the arena, causing streams of light to overflow and spiritual energy to explode. Every life soul's attacks were sharp. They used their full strength as soon as they went up the stage. Against the top 10 experts of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings, there was no need to test the waters. All they had to do was attack with all their might. Even if they didn't test the waters, it was obvious that the top 10 experts of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings were abnormally strong. Zhou Dajiang attacked with all his might, but Jiang Zhulu seemed like he was taking a stroll. He summoned the fallen star whale life soul from the 10th level of the heaven. Jiang Zhulu looked like he hadn't had enough sleep. He sat on the fallen star whale life soul in boredom. No matter how Zhou Dajiang attacked, he couldn't hit the agile and strange fallen star whale. After a while, Zhou Dajiang was furious. Jiang Zhulu, you are ranked 10th on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. Don't you dare to fight me fair and square? You only know how to run away like a stray dog. If you have the ability, fight me head-on. Jiang Zhulu was stunned when he heard this. He pointed at his nose and said, "You mean you want me to fight directly? In that case, I have no other choice." After Jiang Zhulu said that, the fallen starfall nether whale, which had been dodging, suddenly stopped. Faced with the 15 life souls that were charging at it, the fallen starfall nether whale remained motionless. This senior brother Zhou Dajiang is one of the 4 dark horses this year. Looking at him, it's extremely likely that he'll make it into the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. That's right. Senior brother Zhou Dajiang has 2 life souls from the 17th firmament. As for senior brother Jiang Zhulu, it seems like he only has 1 from the 19th firmament, the meteorite nether whale. The rest are all low-level life souls below the 10th firmament. This is the disadvantage of spoiling things through excessive enthusiasm. Senior brother Jiang Zhulu had previously comprehended many low-level life souls when everyone's cultivation levels were low. Now, he's beginning to lose his strength. From the looks of it, he won't be able to hold on to his 10th place on the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboard. Sigh, the top 10 experts of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings are past their prime. What a miserable life. Chapter 205. Below the arena, Tang Ao listened to everyone's comments without saying a word. He really had nothing to say. Putting aside the fact that these body refinement realm disciples had mediocre cultivation levels, they were all more enthusiastic when it came to commenting. It was as though they were the ones speaking on the arena and Jiang Zhulu had already been defeated 100 times. However, how could Tang Ao not tell that Zhou Dajiang had used his full strength in the arena, but Jiang Zhulu had only used less than 30% of his strength? The difference was obvious. However, Zhou Dajiang didn't realize this. He thought that Jiang Zhulu didn't dare fight him because he was afraid of him. Therefore, Zhou Dajiang had always planned on using words to provoke Jiang Zhulu and fight him head-on. It was unknown if Jiang Zhulu was really infuriated by him or if he found it too boring and wanted to end the battle as soon as possible. He seemed to have the intention to attack. In the arena, Zhou Dajiang's 15 life souls blasted towards Jiang Zhulu with unstoppable might. As for Jiang Zhulyo's meteorite nether whale, it remained motionless. Meanwhile, the Grand Elder, who was in charge of saving injured disciples at critical moments and preventing accidents from happening in the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboards, was dozing off in boredom. Seeing that his 15 life souls were less than a meter away from Jiang Zhulu, Zhou Dajiang was ecstatic. At such a close distance, Jiang Zhulu definitely wouldn't be able to dodge. It was as though he could already see the scene of him fighting his way into the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboards. This time, Jiang Zhulu really didn't plan on dodging. It wasn't that he couldn't dodge, but he felt that the battle was just too boring. It was so boring that he wanted to admit defeat. As he happened to be ranked 10th in the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboards, when people challenged the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboards, they would challenge him without a second thought. However, the standards of these challengers were just too poor. Jiang Zhulu couldn't muster any interest in a battle of this level. Jiang Zhulu patted the meteorite nether whale as he looked at the 15 seemingly unstoppable and invulnerable life souls that were getting closer and closer. Go! As soon as Jiang Zhulu said that, the meteorite nether whale charged out like an arrow. The few life souls that bore the brunt were shattered by the meteorite nether whale's destructive force. Following that, it charged towards Zhou Dajiang without losing any momentum. Seeing this scene, the audience was instantly stunned. Heavens, is this the true strength of the top 10 experts on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings? It's just one life soul, but it shattered senior brother Zhou Dajiang's 6 life souls with ease. Too strong. Senior brother Zhou Dajiang, one of the 4 dark horses, was defeated so easily. Speaking of which, who are the 4 dark horses? You don't even know that? Speaking of the 4 great dark horses, this inner sect disciple's interest was piqued. He himself wasn't on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings, but when he talked about them, he was beaming with joy as if he was one of them. The 4th of the 4 dark horses is senior brother Zhou Dajiang, who is ranked 17th on this year's Dragon and Phoenix rankings. This is his first time participating in the Dragon and Phoenix rankings, and he charged into the top 20 in one go. This strength is something that everyone can see with their own eyes. Yeah, it's a pity that senior brother Zhou Dajiang seems to have chosen the wrong opponent. Just as this person finished speaking, Zhou Dajiang was sent flying by the meteorite nether whale. However, at that moment, the meteorite nether whale's strength had decreased by 90%. If it had slammed into Zhou Dajiang like before, it was very likely that Zhou Dajiang would have died on the spot. Chapter 206. Seeing Jiang Zhulu gasping for breath, everyone could not help but heave a sigh of relief. Looks like the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboards are only SOSO. Look at how senior brother Jiang Zhulu is panting, and his spirit energy is fluctuating greatly. He's clearly overexerted. You guys came to 7 kills sect late. Let me tell you, Senior Brother Jiang Zhulio's move was already his ultimate move. Senior Brother Jiang Zhulu should be at the end of his tether now. Anyone who goes up to challenge him will be taking advantage of the situation. That's right. Right now, Senior Brother Jiang Zhulio's spirit energy is completely exhausted, and he has suffered serious internal injuries. Even if I go up, Senior Brother Jiang Zhulu might not be my match. Tang Ao glanced at the group of disciples who were speaking as if they were serious and felt speechless. Others could not see it, but Tang Ao could see it clearly. Jiang Zhulu was only panting slightly because he had forcefully stopped his move. In terms of exhaustion, this was probably just a short while. Jiang Zhulu had already recovered all the spirit energy he had used in the previous battle. Senior Brother, you haven't finished talking about the 4 great dark horses. Go on and tell your junior brothers. Alright, then I'll continue. The third of the 4 dark horses is Senior Brother Song Wuji, who is currently in the arena. Song Wuji looked at the crowd in high spirits on the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboard. In the previous Dragon and Phoenix leaderboards, he had only managed to rank 47th, which was the last place on the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboard. But this time, he had charged to rank 15th on the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboard. Not only that, but because he had some fortuitous encounters outside, he had only used 50% of his strength. If he used his full strength, Song Wuji was confident that even Dong Xianyi, who was ranked first on the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboards, might not be his match. At this moment, Song Wuji was so confident that it was frightening. After Song Wuji went up, the first elder in charge of the competition said, "Song Wuji, congratulations on obtaining the right to challenge the top 10 experts on the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboards. If you succeed, you will temporarily obtain that expert's ranking. May I know who you will challenge?" Song Wuji's confidence was frightening, so his words were enough to shock everyone. "The person I'm challenging is none other than the previous Dragon and Phoenix rankings top ranker, Dong Xianyi." The moment Song Wuji's words came out, the surrounding crowd immediately went into an uproar. As expected of Senior Brother Song Wuji, he actually wants to challenge Senior Brother Dong Xuanye, who is ranked first on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. Who is this kid? You have guts. I like it. Is he retarded? He actually dared to challenge Senior Brother Dong Xuanye. Who cares so much? There's going to be a good show to watch now. When the outer sect disciples who were still discussing the 4 dark horses heard Song Wuji's words, they were all shocked. After a long time, Yuan Chue, who had been introducing the 4 dark horses to the others, lamented, "How sad, how sad. Now that Senior Martial Brother Jiang Zhulu is an arrow at the end of its flight, if Senior Martial Brother Song Wuji were to challenge Senior Martial Brother Jiang Zhulu at this time, he would definitely be able to succeed in one fell swoop. Senior Brother Yuan is right. Senior Brother Yuan is right. Senior Martial Brother Song Wuji has been too careless this time." Under the crowd's anticipation, Dong Xianyi, who had always been elusive, slowly walked up to the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboards arena. Chapter 207. As Dong Xuanye rarely appeared in the 7 Kills sect, apart from the top 10 experts on the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboards who would meet him on sect missions, no one else had seen him. Song Wuji had never seen him either. "You're Dong Xuanye, who's ranked first on the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboards?" Song Wuji asked uncertainly. This ordinary-looking person was too different from what he had imagined Dong Xuanye to be. "Yes." Dong Xuanye only said one word. He didn't seem to like talking, and even that was enough to make him feel very uncomfortable. "Dong Xuanye, since you're like this, I'll let you have 3 moves. If you don't have 3 moves, you dash." Dong Xuanye interrupted before Song Wuji could finish. "All right." Dong Xuanye still only said one word. Not only did he dislike talking, but he also disliked listening to others talk. In his opinion, Song Wuji was simply too talkative. Dong Xuanye attacked after saying that. No one saw how he did it, and some of the weaker ones didn't even feel the ripples of spiritual energy on the arena before Dong Xuanye left. On the arena, Song Wuji looked at the blue sky and white clouds with stars in his eyes. At that moment, all the spiritual energy in his body had disappeared, and he didn't have any strength in his limbs. Even he didn't understand what had just happened, let alone others. The only thing he understood was that he had lost. Dong Xuanye hadn't used 3 moves. He'd only used 1 move, and he'd been utterly defeated. Heavens, what happened? Why did senior brother Dong Xuanye leave the arena? Did he admit defeat? What are you saying? Didn't you see that senior brother Song Wuji is already lying on the arena? It's obvious that senior brother Dong Xuanye has already won. Dong Xuanye had come quickly and left quickly. After casually defeating Song Wuji, Dong Xuanye had left. It was possible that he was still hidden in the crowd, but because he was too ordinary, no one had noticed him. How did senior brother Dong Xuanye win? Is there any senior brother who can explain? I don't know. I only saw senior brother Dong Xuanye go up and say a few words to senior brother Song Wuji. Then senior brother Song Wuji collapsed. Did senior brother Dong Xuanye use the legendary verbal cannon? After watching Dong Xianyi and Song Wuji's battle, Tang Ao was slightly shocked. Because he cultivated the Heaven's Eye art, Tang Ao could barely capture Dong Xianye's movements. As soon as Dong Xuanye finished speaking, he slapped Song Wuji's chest and walked off the stage. After Dong Xuanye's palm strike, Song Wuji fell to the ground powerlessly. After Song Wuji collapsed, the spiritual energy in his body quickly dissipated into the surrounding air. With Song Wuji's lesson, the remaining challengers all adopted the pick the soft persimmon approach. The next 6 challengers all wanted to challenge Jiang Zhulu. Even though Jiang Zhulu had also unleashed an instant kill technique, they still enthusiastically chose to challenge Jiang Zhulu. Just as Jiang Zhulu was about to go crazy from boredom, an interesting opponent appeared. This person's name was Jia Huareng, and he was ranked 26th in the previous Dragon and Phoenix rankings. This time, he was ranked 13th. Do you see that? This is the second of the 4 dark horses, senior brother Jia Huareng. Senior brother Jia Huareng seems to be quite capable. Even senior brother Jiang Zhulu seems to be getting serious. This should be an evenly matched match. The stage for the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings was a special square stage that was 500 meters in length and width. At this moment, Jia Huareng summoned an azure spiritual sea that covered 1/10 of the entire stage. The reason why Jiang Zhulu felt that Jia Huareng was interesting was because the spiritual sea secret technique was his famous technique. He did not expect that after 3 years, someone else had already grasped the spiritual sea secret technique. Chapter 208. Looking at Jia Huareng's spiritual sea secret technique that covered 1/10 of the arena, as well as Jia Huareng's confident look, Jiang Zhulu couldn't help but think of himself when he first mastered the spiritual sea secret technique. Jiang Zhulu couldn't help but think back to when he had first formed his spirit sea secret art. He had the same confidence, and he had also stunned everyone. It was just that he had encountered Dong Xianyi, and his martial Dao heart had suffered a significant blow. Fortunately, the path of martial Dao was all about destruction and reconstruction. After such a long time, not only had his martial heart improved, even his spiritual sea secret technique had reached the greater success stage. Has senior brother Jiang Zhulu been scared silly? Why is he in a daze? It's inevitable. After all, it's his famous technique. It would be strange if he wasn't shocked that someone else had learned it. In that case, senior brother Jia Huareng is likely to succeed. That's hard to say. Senior brother Jiang Zhulio's spiritual sea secret technique has reached this level since a year ago, right? Who cares so much? Let's just watch the show. Below the arena, Tang Ao sighed inwardly at Jia Huareng's spiritual sea secret technique. Some time ago, Jia Huareng and Jia Yun had an inexplicable battle on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. However, Jia Huareng's spiritual sea secret technique was very modeled, and the area of his spiritual sea was less than half of what it was now. Of course, it was only half a strand of the spiritual sea secret technique. Although the area of Jia Huareng's spiritual sea secret technique had expanded, it had also achieved a good visual impact. However, if it was used in actual combat, this spiritual sea secret technique was slightly inferior to the original. Tang Ao circulated the extreme eye art and observed the two people on the arena. Although this was not an evenly matched battle, compared to the previous battles, this one was slightly better. Jia Huareng was very dissatisfied when he saw Jiang Zhulu in a daze. Senior brother Jiang Zhulu, make your move. You and I both cultivate spiritual sea secret technique. Today is the perfect day to determine who is stronger. It seems that senior brother Jia Huareng has victory in his hands today. I've never seen someone so confident. He will definitely win this battle. Jiang Zhulu came back to his senses from his memories. He thought about his own experience of breaking down and rebuilding. Jiang Zhulu decided to help Jia Huareng this once. After understanding this point, Jiang Zhulu's spiritual power emitted a special fluctuation. Then, the special spiritual power swept in all directions like flowing water. Jiang Zhulu's spiritual sea instantly spread out. Jia Huareng's spiritual sea only occupied 1/10 of the arena, but Jiang Zhulu's spiritual sea instantly covered the entire arena. Under Jia Huareng's astonished gaze, Jia Huareng's spiritual sea instantly disappeared under Jiang Zhulu's spiritual sea like a clay ox entering the sea. The Emperor Penguin life soul hidden in Jia Huareng's spiritual sea was instantly crushed into specks of light by Jiang Zhulu's spiritual sea. His spiritual sea and life soul were destroyed at the same time. Jia Huareng was instantly hit by the backlash and flew out of the ring like a kite with a broken string. He didn't even use a single life soul, but he actually crushed his opponent's life soul. Is this the strength of the top 10 rankers on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings? Oh my god, this is too scary. Senior brother Jiang Zhulu looked like he was having a hard time in those matches. Could it be that he was pretending? Chapter 209. I didn't expect 2 of the 4 dark horses to be defeated so quickly. However, the remaining 2 senior brothers will definitely succeed in one fell swoop. Who are the other 2 senior brothers? Don't worry, I'm guessing that these 2 senior brothers will show themselves soon. As soon as this person finished speaking, a middle-aged man who looked to be in his 40s walked onto the stage. The participants of the Dragon and Phoenix ranking tournament were usually youths and youth. This was the first time a middle-aged man was participating. Who is this person? He's still fighting on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings at such an old age? What do you know? To have ambition does not depend on being old. To have no ambition is to live 100 years in vain. But who is this old man? This person seems to have been in the inner sect for a long time, but he entered the inner sect through hard work. His martial arts talent is average, and it seems that he has never participated in the Dragon and Phoenix list. Below the arena, the ordinary disciples discussed spiritedly. When the experts ranked after the 15th place on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings saw this person, their expressions instantly changed. Over the past few days, this person in the arena had challenged all the experts ranked from the 15th to the 49th place on the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboard, and he had not lost a single one. He didn't know which batch of inner sect disciples this person was from. Logically speaking, with such strength, he should have already displayed extraordinary splendor on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. However, this person had always been nameless, and almost no one knew of his existence. This is Senior Brother Gormahan, who is ranked second among the 4 dark horses. I've never seen Senior Brother Gormahan before. Have you seen it before? I've never seen him before either. He looks very ordinary. How did he become the second strongest among the 4 dark horses? I think I've seen it before, but I'm not sure. You've seen Brother Gormahan? Where did you see him? I used to see a person sweeping the floor at the back of the mountain. He looks like Brother Gormahan, but I don't know if it's him. Gormahan stood in the ring and sighed with emotion. Although he looked like he was only 40 years old, he had been cultivating for 70 years. Unlike ordinary people who awaken their life souls at the age of 10 or even earlier, he only awakened his life soul at the age of 30 and began cultivating. Later, an elder of the 7 Kills sect saw his sincerity and made an exception to accept him into the sect. After entering the sect, relying on his unremitting efforts and luck, he spent another 10 years to be promoted from an outer sect disciple to an inner sect disciple. After he was promoted to an inner court disciple, he cultivated bitterly for another 60 years before he stood on the arena of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. Moreover, before he stood on this arena, he'd already privately defeated all the experts ranked from the 15th to the 49th on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. The first elder in charge of the challenge for the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings looked at Gormahan in the arena with mixed emotions and felt gratified. He had accepted Gormahan into the sect on a whim. He didn't expect Gormahan, who had disappeared for so many years, to have achieved what he had today. Just when the Grand Elder was about to ask Gormahan which powerhouse on the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboard he wanted to challenge, an ethereal voice came from the 7 Kills sect's main hall. Gormahan, I am the leader of the 7 Kill Martial School, Yun Tianfeng. You have been training in my school for 100 years, and now you have reached the Sea of Souls realm. I now formally invite you to become the 8th elder of my 7 Kills sect. Are you willing? Hearing Yun Tianfeng's words, Gormahan sighed inwardly. As expected, he couldn't hide it from the leader. Now that his cultivation had improved greatly, he wanted to suppress his strength and accept the many martial arts geniuses on the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboards to hone his martial arts, but it seemed that he couldn't do it now. This disciple has received 110 years of kindness from the 7 Kills sect. I am willing to become an elder of the 7 Kills sect and make my own contributions to the sect. Chapter 210. When Yun Tianfeng finished speaking, Gormahan's powerful spiritual power at the peak of the 9th floor of Linghai Jing instantly swept out. Then, Gormahan rose from the ground and flew in the air, leaving the ring of the Dragon and Phoenix lists in a flash. Oh my God, an elder-level powerhouse came to compete with us for the Dragon and Phoenix lists. Isn't this clearly bullying? That's not true. I just went to take a look, and Elder Gormahan's name isn't on the Dragon and Phoenix lists. The experts on the Dragon and Phoenix lists who came to watch the challenge for the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix lists also sighed. I was quite shocked at first, but now that I know he's an elder-level powerhouse, I feel much better. Elder Gormahan's perseverance is really amazing. He actually hid in the 7 Kills sect's inner sect for 100 years before making a move. This kind of mentality is really rare, and when he fought with us, his strength was suppressed to the same level. I don't think we'll be a match for Elder Gormahan even if we cultivate to the same level as him. That's hard to say. The future is endless, and we will all have our own opportunities in the future. It's hard to say how far we can go. Senior brother is right. Hey, which senior brother was talking to me just now? Looking at the people who were still talking about the Dragon and Phoenix lists, Donkswinny quietly left. The future was endless, and everyone would also have their own opportunities in the future. On the path of martial arts, Donkswinny himself was not sure how far he could go. After Gormahan's promotion to an elder came to an end, a blind youth walked into the ring. Who is this? This is this year's 4 great dark horses, Senior Brother Ji Gaoi. Senior Brother Ji Gaoi? I thought the 4 great dark horses would be the intersex public enemy, Tang Ao. In front of Senior Brother Ji Gaoi, Tang Ao is nothing. But Senior Brother Tang Ao is currently ranked 11th on the Dragon and Phoenix lists, while Senior Brother Ji Gaoi is only ranked 12th. That's right. Let's not talk about anything else. Just by looking at the rankings, it's obvious that Senior Brother Tang Ao is stronger. Who does Tang Ao think he is? He can't even last 3 moves against Senior Brother Ji Gaoi. That's right. Senior Brother Ji Gaoi has already reached the realm of temper heart and sever emotion. Among the top 10 experts on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings, there might not be many who can defeat him. Can the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings defeat Senior Brother Ji Gaoi? You're overthinking things. Up until now, no one who has fought against Senior Brother Ji Gaoi has left the stage alive. After Ji Gaoi stepped into the ring for the Dragon and Phoenix rankings, the Grand Elder in charge of this competition frowned. I'll tell you again, Ji Gaoi. You're not allowed to kill your fellow disciples. You may have a special technique, but it's best to restrain yourself. I don't want to accidentally injure you when I try to stop you. If you want to fight, then go ahead, said Ji Gaoi with a black cloth tied around his eyes. This kid is quite something. He actually dares to provoke the Grand Elder. I think he's courting death. If he really tries to kill him, then even if the Grand Elder accidentally kills him, he won't be able to reason with anyone. Not far from the Dragon and Phoenix rankings ring, the 7 Kills Sex Grand Elder and the rest of the elders and deacons were gathered on the viewing platform. The new generation excels the old. These juniors are getting more and more amazing. The Grand Elder was also the #1 expert on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings back in the day. These kids became famous at a young age, so they're a little arrogant. The Grand Elder should understand. Sigh, understanding is one thing, but I'm afraid that the Grand Elder will be killed by this kid. That would be too much of a joke. Chapter 211. On the side of the arena, after Ji Gaoi's merciless and provocative words, the first elder laughed. Ji Gaoi, which expert on the Dragon and Phoenix list do you want to challenge? Before Ji Gaoi finished speaking, a young man with sword-like eyebrows, starry eyes, and clothes whiter than snow suddenly jumped onto the arena. Ji Gaoi, by Qiushui, ranked 49th on the Dragon and Phoenix list, challenges you. Do you dare to accept the challenge? What's going on? I do know a little about it. It's just that I can't bear to say it out loud. Hurry up and say it. It's not like it's some embarrassing scandal. Alas, although it's not a scandal, it's still disgraceful. What are you afraid of? It's not that you're disgraceful. Just say it. All right then, but I've only heard about it from someone else. Brothers, don't take it seriously. Say it, say it. Senior Brother Wang, why do you talk so much nonsense? Okay, then I'll say it. On the side of the arena, when Tang Ao was watching the 2 people on the arena, someone suddenly patted his shoulder. But when Tang Ao turned around, there was no one behind him. Junior Sister Tsai, stop it. In the 7 Kills sect, besides you, no one smells so good. Annoying, not fun at all. Luo Tsai rolled her eyes at Tang Ao and said angrily. Tang Ao had the hidden jade body in stone, while Luo Tsai had the heavenly phoenix spirit jade body. Since Tang Ao helped Luo Tsai break the forbidden spirit curse last time, their bodies had undergone some subtle changes. Tang Ao's aura became more restrained and stable, while Luo Tsai's spiritual power became softer, and a refreshing special fragrance appeared on her body. It seemed that only Tang Ao could detect this fragrance, so no matter how Luo Tsai changed her illusions, Tang Ao could find her. In contrast, Luo Tsai seemed to have established a special link with Tang Ao in her heart. Therefore, among the sea of spectating disciples, Luo Tsai found Tang Ao at a glance. However, Luo Tsai herself did not realize how she had discovered Tang Ao. As for the inner disciples, the group of inner disciples who surrounded Wang Shisan were on the verge of going berserk. Senior brother Wang Shisan, do you really know? Of course I know. Then hurry up and tell us. We've been waiting for a long time. Senior brother, you just won't tell us. Didn't I want to say it just now? It's all because you keep interrupting me. All right then, senior martial brother, tell us what happened between Ji Gaoi and Bai Qiushui. All right, I'll tell you about it. Excellent, excellent. Senior brother. One of the inner sect disciples was just about to urge Wang Shisan to speak when a disciple with sharp eyes and quick hands hastily covered the disciple's mouth. He was afraid that because of this disciple's influence, Wang Shisan would have to spend a long time before learning about this matter. Sure enough, when Wang Shisan saw that everyone was quiet, he immediately cleared his throat and spoke with assurance. It is said that Ji Gaoi and Bai Qiushui's sister, Bai Qiuning, were partners. What happened then? The inner disciple immediately realized that he had said something wrong and hurriedly covered his mouth. But Wang Shisan seemed to have a bad habit. If he did not want to say it, he would not say it no matter what. And once he started talking, no matter what happened, he could not stop. Ji Gaoi and Bai Qiuning are a perfect match, a match made in heaven. When Wang Shisan said this, he was also envious and disappointed. Chapter 212. I can't believe there's such a thing. Ji Gaoi is really a beast. Bai Qiushui challenged Ji Gaoi to avenge his sister. Avenge? That's more like courting death. Although I haven't seen it before, I'm sure all of you are familiar with the name of heart refining and emotion severing. The cold wind rustled and the jackdaws flew. Bai Qiushui drew her sword amidst the discussions of the crowd below the arena. Before he drew his sword, Bai Qiushui had at least 10 fatal weaknesses. But after he pulled out the fine steel sword in his hand, those weaknesses instantly disappeared. A sword momentum surged out of Bai Qiushui's body, and a sharp sword aura also scattered around the ring. Some of the weaker people were instantly killed by the sword aura, and some of the weaker people instantly spat out a mouthful of blood. If their opponent was Bai Qiushui, they would be dead by now. After destroying his eyes, Ji Gaoi could feel everything around him more clearly. Feeling Bai Qiushui's awe-inspiring sword chi, Ji Gaoi's expressionless face showed a rare smile. I didn't expect you to cultivate the awe-inspiring sword chi so quickly. Very good, very good. I'm good, but you'll soon be bad. Ji Gaoi die. Bai Qiushui rushed up with his long sword. In the process of Bai Qiushui's charge, 36 sword-shaped life spirits appeared behind him. The last 36 sword-shaped life spirits turned into a white light and disappeared into the fine steel sword in Bai Qiushui's hand. On the viewing platform far away from the ring, the 7th elder asked in disbelief, "Could this be? It should be." It was the 2nd elder who spoke. Although the 7th elder didn't say it clearly, with the knowledge of the few present, they naturally recognized at a glance that this was the long-lost 36 awe-inspiring sword chi. This was recognized as the most difficult and the most powerful cultivation method on the entire continent. To cultivate this cultivation method, one needed to awaken 36 sword-type life spirits, and there were many other harsh conditions. In the 7 Kills Sex Tantra scroll, there had never been a person who had cultivated such a sword technique for thousands of years. It had been 16,000 years since the last time the 36 extreme righteous sword chi appeared. However, once he mastered this sword technique, he would be able to condense the 36 spirit sword life souls into a life soul equivalent to the 36 heavens. In the history of the Black Tortoise continent, there had never been a possessor of the 36th heaven fate soul. It could also be said that whoever awakened the 36th heaven life spirit would be the strongest person on this continent, the uncrowned king of this continent. Tempering heart-severing emotion versus overwhelming sword qi. Interesting. Although Bai Qiushui was using the Haoren sword qi, but the opponent's refining heart-severing emotion sword technique was also not ordinary. Not only was it not an ordinary item, but it was also a sword Dao secret manual that was as famous as the Haoren sword qi. It was just that the cultivation method of refining heart-severing emotion was too much of a criticism. Therefore, when most people mentioned the refining heart-severing emotions, they would unnaturally belittle the refining heart-severing emotions, thereby elevating the status of the overwhelming sword qi. Over time, through word of mouth, the refining heart-severing emotion, which was originally on par with the Haoren sword qi, was said to be inferior to the overwhelming sword qi. When Bai Qiushui's sharp sword light slashed towards Ji Gaoi also drew his sword. Before he drew his sword, Ji Gaoi gave off a cold and lonely feeling. But after he drew his sword, this feeling instantly changed. The cold feeling instantly disappeared, replaced by a bone-chilling coldness. The feeling of loneliness also disappeared in an instant, replaced by a bleak silence. Chapter 213. Bai Qiushui's long sword was indomitable and unstoppable, but such a sword was blocked by Ji Gaoi's smooth and unremarkable sword. Bai Qiushui pulled back the long sword in his hand, and under the radiance of the sword, he attacked Ji Gaoi 7 times in an instant. His wrist shook the sword, and each sword was faster than the last. In the blink of an eye, he had attacked 19 times. The sword swept across, and the sword momentum was wild. 27 swords swept towards Ji Gaoi. In the face of Bai Qiushui's fierce sword momentum, no one could imagine how Ji Gaoi could withstand it. But he did block it. He attacked at an angle that was impossible to imagine, and each sword was just right to block Bai Qiushui's fierce sword edge. But after blocking the sword edge, he immediately stabbed out the next sword, like moving clouds and flowing water, without any delay. His way of using the sword was extremely strange. If they had not seen someone use the sword like this, most people would not have thought that the sword could be used in this way. The way he used the sword was very awkward, and it was naturally uncomfortable to use the sword like this. But in his hands it gave people an illusion, as if the sword was used in this way. And the sword could only be used, other uses were wrong. Watching the superb swordsmanship of the two on the arena, Tang Ao's body suddenly trembled, and some beads of sweat appeared on his forehead. Just now, Tang Ao had unknowingly fallen into the sword intent of the two, although such sword intent would not cause much damage to the body. Even for martial artists at their level, this kind of damage was basically negligible. But once one fell into such a sword intent, it would inevitably affect one's future martial arts. This kind of impact varied from person to person. Some people with mediocre martial arts talent might be affected by this, and their future achievements would exceed their expected standards. And some people with good martial arts talent would be subtly affected by this kind of sword intent, and then affect the development of their martial arts. After breaking away from the sword intent of Ji Gaoi and Bai Qiushui, Tang Ao secretly praised the strength of the two. Just now, Tang Ao fell into the sword intent of the two. In the sword intent, the two had already exchanged more than 300 moves, and Bai Qiushui was even about to use the 36 extreme Haoren sword qi. Ji Gaoi was also about to use the cultivating heart severing emotion sword technique. However, at this moment, the two people on the stage did not move at all. Compared to when they first entered the stage, the only difference was that they had drawn their swords. Tang Ao rejoiced in his heart. Fortunately, he'd retreated in time. Otherwise, once the two of them had utilized the essence of their respective sword techniques, he'd probably have sunk into their sword Dao concepts. Thinking of this, Tang Ao hurriedly looked at Luo Tsai beside him. Luo Tsai's beautiful eyes were no longer as gentle as they used to be. Instead, they were filled with a sharp sword intent, and the spiritual power in her body fluctuated greatly. Tang Ao hurriedly injected his spiritual power into Luo Tsai's body slowly, and the gray light on the hidden jade body in the stone also released a warm spiritual power, driving the somewhat chaotic spiritual power in Luo Tsai's body to operate normally. With the help of Tang Ao's spiritual power, the spiritual sword energy in Luo Tsai's eyes gradually disappeared. When the spiritual sword energy completely disappeared, Luo Tsai's body softened, and she fell into Tang Ao's arms. Feeling the special spiritual power in her body that did not belong to her, but was almost indistinguishable from her own spiritual power, Luo Tsai's pretty face turned red. "You're bullying me again," Luo Tsai said softly. Tang Ao's spiritual power poured into her body, and naturally saw everything about her from the inside out. Tang Ao just held Luo Tsai with clear eyes, quietly adjusting the state of his body. It was also very difficult for Tang Ao to break the sword intent of the two people with his own strength. Chapter 214. On the dueling platform, Bai Qiushui and Ji Gaoi were like two statues, motionless. Not only that, but many of the people below the stage were also like the two of them, fighting motionlessly. The only difference was that Bai Qiushui and Ji Gaoi had no fluctuations, while the eyes of the people under the platform were constantly erupting with sword qi, and they looked intoxicated. Tang Ao glanced around. Except for the first elder, only a dozen people among the inner disciples of the same generation were not affected by the sword Dao artistic conception of Bai Qiushui and Ji Gaoi. And the top 10 experts of the Dragon and Phoenix list would also be born among these people. The three brothers of the Fong family were sitting together at this time, although there was some sweat on their foreheads. But they were not affected by the sword Dao artistic conception of Bai Qiushui and Ji Gaoi. In fact, with the strength of Luo Tsai and the others, if they fought face to face, they naturally would not fall into the two's sword Dao artistic conception. But at this moment, the people under the platform were not on guard, so they unconsciously fell into the two's sword Dao artistic conception and were unaware. This sword Dao artistic conception was a spiritual technique that was easy to enter but difficult to exit, so once one fell into such an artistic conception, it was very difficult to get out. Just then, on the dueling platform, Bai Qiushui and Ji Gaoi spat out a mouthful of blood at the same time. The sword Dao artistic conception of the two burst out, disappeared in an instant. And the disciples who fell into the two's sword Dao artistic conception all fell to the ground in a mess of spiritual power. Ah, senior brother Ji Gaoi was killed. Oh my God, senior brother Ji Gaoi was so cruel. Senior brother Bai Qiushui died so miserably. Nonsense, I clearly saw the two of them die together. Heaven is really jealous of heroes. But why do I see senior brother Ji Gaoi and senior brother Bai Qiushui still standing on the platform? When they heard this, they all looked at the platform and saw that the two had returned to the original position of the battle, standing with their swords behind their backs. Is this a battle between masters? It ends where it started. Amazing, but I clearly saw senior brother Ji Gaoi kill senior brother Bai Qiushui with a sword, and even the first elder had no time to save him. I saw it too, but it was senior brother Bai Qiushui who killed senior brother Ji Gaoi with a sword. Just then, Ji Gaoi and Bai Qiushui fell heavily to the ground at the same time and passed out. They didn't know the outcome of the match, but Tang Ao and the others could see that Ji Gaoi had won the match. Although the two of them were not in direct contact, the spiritual power on Bai Qiushui's body was not only chaotic, but also very weak. What a pity! If senior brother Bai Qiushui hadn't appeared out of nowhere, senior brother Ji Gaoi might have been able to defeat the top 10 experts on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. That's right. Looks like this year's Dragon and Phoenix Rankings Challenge competition has ended here. What a pity. Isn't there still senior brother Tang Ao who hasn't gone on stage yet? Tang Ao? Wasn't he ranked 11th on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings because his cultivation technique countered senior brother Hua Zipping? Right now, he's challenging the top 10 experts on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. Do you really think that Tang Ao would dare to go up? So that's how it is. I originally thought that Tang Ao had some skills, but I didn't expect him to be such an opportunistic person. Tang Ao and Luo Tsai were standing behind this group of disciples. After hearing these people slander Tang Ao, Luo Tsai became angry. Luo Tsai and Tang Ao had been together for a while, so she knew what Tang Ao was capable of. Therefore, after hearing these people slander Tang Ao, Luo Tsai wanted to teach them a lesson. However, Tang Ao hurriedly pulled her back. Tsai, I was bitten by a dog while walking on the street. Do I have to bite the dog? Luo Tsai laughed after hearing this. What are you going to do? Just think about it and leave? Chapter 215. The first elder nodded indifferently. After the exciting battle between Bai Qiushui and Ji Gaoi, the first elder had lost interest in the last match, and the crowd of onlookers probably had the same mentality. However, there was a rumor that Tang Ao was only able to beat Hua Zipping because his cultivation technique countered Hua Zipping's. People with good luck were often envied by others, so everyone was waiting for Tang Ao to make a fool of himself. Tang Ao, you are the last person to challenge the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. When will you challenge someone on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings? I'll choose randomly. As soon as the great elder's voice fell, Tang Ao said casually. With Tang Ao's current strength, he could fight anyone on the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. Tang Ao's indifferent appearance also caused a lot of discussion among the disciples below the duel stage. Some praised Tang Ao for his courage, some said that he had a personality, but most of them despised him and cursed him. This kid is very arrogant. I bet he can only be arrogant for 10 seconds at most. I'll lick the stairs for every second he lasts. This senior apprentice brother is amazing to be able to think of such a good way to bet. The one who spoke was one of Tang Ao's disciples, Wang Lin. He was very confident in Tang Ao. Since this senior apprentice brother is so interested, then junior apprentice brother will accompany senior apprentice brother for a round. What is senior apprentice brother's name? This person dared to ask for trouble, so Wang Lin had to play along. Otherwise, how boring would his cultivation life be? Ma Sanpao looked at Wang Lin and asked, "It's rare for this junior apprentice brother to be interested. My name is Ma Sanpao. Tell me, how do you want to bet?" Now that he had the support of the people and the trend of the times, he stood out to slander Tang Ao. Many inner disciples looked at Ma Sanpao with admiration. Seeing everyone's gazes, Ma Sanpao was very satisfied with this outer disciple who stood out for him. Ma Sanpao was already thinking to himself that he would be in the limelight soon. If this outer sect disciple wasn't too weak, then he wouldn't mind taking him in as his little brother. In Ma Sanpao's opinion, there weren't many lackeys who knew how to act according to circumstances. Senior brother, if Tang Ao can last 10 seconds on the stage, then for every second that passes, senior brother will lick a piece of the stairs. If Tang Ao loses within 10 seconds, then I'll give senior apprentice brother a red jade. How about it? As Wang Lin spoke, he took out a red jade. The smile in Ma Sanpao's eyes deepened when he saw the red-grade jade. This little brother of his was really too sensible. You know that I, your senior brother, am a virtuous person, and I won't accept a gift directly, so you changed the way you gave me a gift. Not bad, not bad. Even if he is weak, after Tang Ao is defeated, I will make an exception and accept him as my little brother. This Tang Ao sure talks big. I will play with him. After saying that, Xiao Linmu took a step forward and arrived at the arena for the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. Rank 5 of the last Dragon and Phoenix rankings, Xiao Linmu. After going on stage, Xiao Linmu casually clasped his hands at the crowd. As for Tang Ao, he didn't even look him in the eye. Among the top 10 experts of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings, Xiao Linmu clearly had a lot of supporters. If Hua Ziping, whom Tang Ao had killed, was the most handsome man in the inner sect, then Xiao Linmu could be considered the second most handsome man in the inner sect. However, compared to the effeminate Hua Ziping, Xiao Linmu's speech was at least a bit more normal. Senior apprentice brother Xiao Linmu, we support you. Senior apprentice brother Xiao Linmu, teach this arrogant brat a lesson. Tang Ao, get off the stage. You don't want to dirty senior apprentice brother Xiao Linmu's hands. That's right. Tang Ao, hurry up and get off the stage. Otherwise, you won't be able to get off. If you get off now, you can avoid physical pain. Chapter 216. Did you hear the voices from below the stage? Young people shouldn't be too arrogant. Take advantage of the fact that it hasn't started yet and get off. Otherwise, it wouldn't be good if you lose your life on the stage. At this time, Xiao Linmu finally turned around and arrogantly said to Tang Ao. After hearing that, Tang Ao shook his head. I have a question that I don't understand. After Tang Ao finished speaking, Xiao Linmu blanked. He didn't know why Tang Ao would say something like that. With your strength, it's normal for you to have things you don't understand. Go back and cultivate for a few years. The stage of the Dragon and Phoenix ranking doesn't suit you. Xiao Linmu said with disdain. What I don't understand is, how did you cultivate to the origin realm with that bit of intelligence? Damn brat, you're looking to die. As Xiao Linmu spoke, he clawed towards Tang Ao. He came very quickly and he left just as quickly. After Xiao Linmu neared Tang Ao, before his claw could even touch Tang Ao had already slammed his palm onto his chest. Although Xiao Linmu was ranked 5th on the Dragon and Phoenix ranking, he was really stupid. When fighting against a fighter like Tang Ao, who had mastered the 7-kill method of slaughter, he still dared to keep on talking rubbish. After speaking so much rubbish, the 7-kill method of slaughter in Tang Ao's body had already been condensed to its peak state. Because of that, with one strike, the spirit power in Xiao Linmu's body was instantly shattered by the powerful 7-kill method. Xiao Linmu was the same as the person who first fought against Dong Xianyi. His entire body powerlessly fell down. This battle was exactly the same as Dong Xianyi's battle. The only difference was that Dong Xianyi instantly killed a member of the younger generation who wasn't ranked in the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix ranking. On the other hand, the person Tang Ao instantly killed was an expert who had been famous on the Dragon and Phoenix ranking for a long time. Even after Tang Ao had already defeated Xiao Linmu with a thunderous move, the audience below the arena still hadn't recovered their senses. It wasn't until Wang Lin threw a red jade into Ma San Pao's hand that Ma San Pao realized that Tang Ao didn't last more than 10 seconds on the battle stage. This was because he only used 1 second to defeat his opponent. Of course, this was not because his opponent was too weak. It was because Tang Ao's opponent, Xiao Linmu, was a powerful martial artist ranked 5th on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. However, such a martial artist could not even last a second in the hands of Tang Ao. From this, one could see Tang Ao's battle prowess. In fact, if Xiao Linmu had fought with Tang Ao as soon as he got on the stage instead of talking nonsense with Tang Ao, he would have been able to exchange blows with Tang Ao. Although Tang Ao could defeat him, it was impossible to instantly kill him without exposing his trump card. After instantly killing Xiao Linmu, Tang Ao walked off the arena in a relaxed manner. Meanwhile, Xiao Linmu lay on the arena, unable to move, and was carried off by 2 attendants. Tang Ao actually won against senior Xiao Linmu, who was ranked 5th. Am I seeing things? Not only did he win, he instantly killed him. A newcomer who was not even famous on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings instantly killed an expert who had been famous for a long time. My worldview is in a mess. Is this something a human can do? He's simply a beast. These new disciples are getting more and more amazing. The ranking competition for the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings is going to be interesting again. What rank do you guys think this Tang Ao will be? After Tang Ao defeated Xiao Linmu with a thunderous move, the head elder also came to the arena for the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. The competition for the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings has ended. Everyone, go back and rest. Tomorrow morning, the competition for the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings will begin. Chapter 217. The spectators were all eager to digest what they had learned today. Hence, no one was willing to listen to his nagging. The truth was just as everyone thought. The great elder originally had a belly full of witty words to impart to everyone, but seeing that these little brats didn't appreciate it, he immediately stopped. Seeing that these brats did not appreciate it, the great elder lost interest and did not want to speak anymore. I believe some of you already know that the opening of the Underworld Emperor Mystic Realm this time. The top 5 experts of the Dragon and Phoenix role will represent 7 kills sect to participate in the Underworld Emperor Mystic Realm. After the Great Elder dropped this bombshell, the people who originally planned to hold back and not make a fuss could not help but become excited. The Underworld Emperor Mystic Realm was a legendary mystic realm filled with treasures and martial arts secret manuals. In more exaggerated terms, even trash picked up in the Underworld Emperor Mystic Realm would be a treasure in the outside world. This Underworld Emperor Mystic Realm only opens once every 10,000 years. If we can enter once, we will be able to obtain many treasures. This Underworld Emperor Mystic Realm only opens once every 10,000 years. Even though we can't enter the Underworld Emperor Mystic Realm, we can still watch many exciting battles. That's right. In order to obtain a spot to enter the Underworld Emperor Mystic Realm, these experts will probably use all their trump card. This is going to be a good show. These disciples were just here to watch a show. Since they could not enter the Underworld Emperor Mystic Realm, they were looking forward to the top 10 experts fighting for a spot to enter the Underworld Emperor Mystic Realm. In the crowd, Dong Xinyi heard that the top 5 of the Dragon and Phoenix role could enter the Underworld Emperor Mystic Realm. His originally dull expression suddenly changed, but he quickly calmed down like a pool of still water. When Ouyang Duan, who was ranked second on the Dragon and Phoenix role, heard this news, his expression became heated. He had already made up his mind that he would not hold back no matter who he met in tomorrow's competition. It was true that the Underworld Emperor Mystic Realm only opened once every 10,000 years. However, if too many people entered together, it would inevitably increase the competition. Thus, Ouyang Duan decided to reduce as many competitors as possible in tomorrow's competition. When the 3 brothers of the Fong family heard this news, they were instantly excited. Great, great! This time, we 3 brothers must obtain 3 spots in the top 5 of the Dragon and Phoenix role. Then, we will enter the Underworld Emperor Mystic Realm together to search for treasures. Fong Xiuwen said confidently. But just as Fong Xiuwen finished speaking, Fong Xiuling immediately retorted, "Big brother is wrong. It's the 3 of us plus big sister Tsai. We must get 4 spots. At that time, the 4 of us will join hands to search for treasures in the Netherworld Emperor Mystic Realm. Big brother, third brother's words are very reasonable. Let's do it." This was the first time the 3 brothers had reached a consensus after fighting for so many years. The news of the opening of the Netherworld Emperor Mystic Realm not only caused a huge stir in the 7 Kills sect, but the entire Black Tortoise continent as well. The 6 great clans of the Primordial Era and the 8 great sects of the Black Tortoise Era. There were also some second-rate and third-rate sects that spread the news. This matter also caused an uproar in the Black Tortoise continent. However, there was a limit to the number of people who could enter the Netherworld Emperor's mystic realm at a time. Furthermore, the 6 great clans and 8 great sects of the primordial era had always been in the hands of the Black Tortoise 8 great sect. Therefore, although the cultivators of the Black Tortoise continent were extremely tempted, they were at their wits' end. Amidst the anticipation of the members of 7 Kills sect, the ranking battle for the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings arrived as scheduled. At this moment, the top 10 experts of the Dragon and Phoenix role, who were rarely seen on normal days, were all gathered on the Dragon and Phoenix role's battle arena. They were lined up from the right. The first person was naturally Dong Xinyi, who was dressed in black and had an extremely ordinary appearance. Chapter 218. With the 3 brothers of the Fong clan standing there, everyone else could only stand aside casually. To them, they did not pay much attention to where they stood. Apart from Dong Xinyi, Ouyang Duan, and the 3 brothers of the Fong clan, Jiang Zhulu, who had appeared many times before, as well as the public enemy of the inner sanctum, Tang Ao, and the goddess of the inner sanctum, Luo Tsai, were also in the arena. Apart from Luo Tsai, there was another young lady in the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. She was Kasahara Yuki, who was ranked 7th in the previous Dragon and Phoenix rankings. The last person in the top 10 was Jing Wushang, who was ranked 3rd in the previous Dragon and Phoenix rankings. Since everyone is here, the ranking battle for the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings will officially begin. The Great Elder was still presiding over the ranking battle for the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. However, it was different from the other competitions for the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. Other than the 2 competitors, there was also a black-robed administrator on the arena. This administrator's surname was Wu, and it was said that because he cultivated a special technique, he was present. It could avoid the tragedy of genius disciples dying in the competition. Every genius disciple of a sect was the fresh blood of the sect, and they were the future of the sect. In order to improve the overall strength of each disciple, it was necessary to have a battle. However, if a genius disciple was lost because of this, it would not be worth it. For the sake of fairness, in principle, everyone had to fight with the other 9 people, and the ranking would be determined by the outcome of the battle. However, there would be some special circumstances every year. For example, a disciple was too far behind the other disciples, and he would be defeated again and again. In order not to hurt the disciple's confidence, he could only be eliminated prematurely, and the disciple would directly become ranked 10th in the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. Jiang Zhulu was proof of this rule. In the previous Dragon and Phoenix rankings, Jiang Zhulu had encountered Dong Xinyi as soon as he arrived. The result was obvious. Jiang Zhulu had naturally lost. In the second round, he encountered Ouyang Duan, and naturally lost again. The third opponent was Jing Wushang. He had encountered the top 3 experts of the previous Dragon and Phoenix rankings. Another special situation was that a disciple would be seriously injured in a battle, and would not be able to fight again in the later rounds, and would also be eliminated prematurely. The top 3 on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings were all slightly stronger than the 7 people ranked behind them. Hence, if one were to encounter 2 of the top 3 in a row in a battle, it was extremely likely that one would be injured or even heavily injured. Because of this, the elders of 7 Kills sect also wanted to set up a rule to change the situation. However, no matter how they thought about it, they felt that it would be unfair no matter how they changed the rules. Thus, the matter was left unsettled. He could only blame his bad luck for encountering such a situation in the tournament. Something worthy of mention was that even though Jiang Zhulu had successively encountered the 3 great experts of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings during the last Dragon and Phoenix rankings, he'd left the arena unharmed, and his strength was obvious. The first match, Dong Xuanye against Fang Xiuwu. Everyone else, please leave. Attendant Wu said emotionlessly under the crowd's anticipation. Following this, Dong Xianyi and Fang Xiuwu remained on the dueling platform while the others quickly left. Just admit defeat. Dong Xianyi was still not fond of talking. Furthermore, his words were capable of infuriating others to death. However, Fang Xiuwu had no intention of refuting. All right, I admit defeat. After Fang Xiuwu finished speaking, he elegantly walked off the stage. Dong Xianyi was stunned for a moment before he followed suit. Attendant Wu was also very confused. This was a battle between the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. How could these youngsters be so casual? The spectating disciples below the stage were also dumbfounded. The battle that they'd been anticipating for so long had ended just like that? What's going on? Why did it end after just 2 sentences? To be more precise, it was just 1 sentence. Senior brother Dong Xuanya said 1 sentence, and senior brother Fang Xiuwu admitted defeat. This Fang Xiuwu is too much of a coward. Before this disciple could finish speaking, the expressions of the surrounding people immediately changed drastically. They covered his mouth and at the same time gestured for him to keep quiet. Chapter 219. Seeing that this person didn't continue, the disciple whose mouth was covered asked, "What's next? Senior brother, why don't you continue?" "There's nothing else." The disciple smiled mysteriously. On the arena, Deacon Wu opened the jade slip in his hand and read, "This match, Fang Xiuling against Luo Tsai." Like a moonlight fairy, Luo Tsai gently flew onto the arena. A pair of beautiful eyes looked at Fang Xiuling. "Little Ling, it's your first match." At this time, Fang Xiuling, dressed in white, also floated onto the arena like a ghost. "I'm not Sister Tsai's opponent, I admit defeat." On the side, Deacon Wu was still operating his secret technique to save the 2 of them at the critical moment, but in the end, Fang Xiuling admitted defeat. Deacon Wu almost couldn't breathe, and his spiritual power went berserk. Sigh. The 3 brothers of the Fang family are all like this. Every time they face junior sister Tsai, they always admit defeat. It's a must to admit defeat. Are you willing to beat junior sister Tsai? That's true. If I encounter junior sister Tsai, I will also admit defeat. Come on, you're not even on the Dragon and Phoenix lists. How dare you say you'll give way to junior sister Tsai? You speak as if you're on the Dragon and Phoenix list. After waiting for Deacon Wu to catch his breath, Fang Xiuling smiled and said to Deacon Wu, "Uncle Wu, us 3 brothers, whether we meet Dong Xianyi or Sister Kai Yi's battle, just help us." "Okay," Deacon Wu said with a cold face. Deacon Wu's strength was comparable to the Great Elder, and because of his cultivation technique, he was even stronger than the Great Elder. However, Deacon Wu was also the sworn brother of Fang Xiuling's father. Therefore, he was very helpless towards his sworn brother's 3 sons. This match, Dongswenny against Jiang Zhulu. Saying Dongswenny's name, Deacon Wu was no longer prepared to operate his cultivation technique to protect the 2 of them. In Deacon Wu's opinion, Dongswenny's opponent was going to admit defeat again. However, what Deacon Wu never expected was that Jiang Zhulio's eyes were burning with monstrous fighting spirit. "Senior brother Dong Xuanya, please." Jiang Zhulu did not expect that he would still be able to fight against Dong Xianyi the moment he arrived. He was very excited because right now both he and Dong Xianyi were in peak condition, so it would be very fair for them to fight. Yes. Facing Jiang Zhulu, Dongswenny did not have any intention of letting Jiang Zhulu admit defeat because Jiang Zhulu was an opponent worthy of fighting. This was despite the fact that Jiang Zhulu was only ranked 10th in the previous Dragon and Phoenix rankings. However, Dong Xianyi, who had fought against Jiang Zhulu at full power, knew that Jiang Zhulio's strength was at least in the top 5 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. Seeing that Jiang Zhulu and Dong Xianyi were about to fight, Attendant Wu's interest was piqued. He made a hand seal, and 2 runes condensed from special spiritual power slowly appeared. These 2 runes were glowing with white light, and there were some special characters that even Tang Ao couldn't understand. Go! Attendant Wu waved his hand, and 2 runes quickly entered Dongswini and Jiang Julio's bodies. After the runes disappeared, Attendant Wu raised his hand, and 2 extremely overbearing spiritual power palm prints blasted towards Dongswini and Jiang Zhulu. The speed of the spiritual power palm prints was too fast, and Dongswini and Jiang Zhulu were not prepared, so even Dongswini was unable to dodge them. However, when the spiritual power palm prints neared them, a white light instantly appeared on the surface of their bodies, blocking the 2 spiritual power palm prints that contained a terrifying aura. Now, the 2 of you can fight freely. With the spiritual protection runes that I've set up, the runes will automatically appear when the 2 of you receive a fatal attack. I'll be by your side, and I'll be able to ensure your safety. After Attendant Wu finished speaking, Jiang Zhulu was overjoyed. Dongswini's expression also changed slightly, but he quickly recovered. As for Ouyang Duan, who was below the arena, his expression instantly darkened. With the spiritual protection runes that Attendant Wu had set up, it would be very difficult for him to attack Tang Ao. Although he was very confident in the treasure in his hand, he could not help but reveal a bitter expression. He even began to consider who he should use this treasure on. Ouyang Duan had a nail-like object in his hand, which he had obtained by chance in a historical remnant. Chapter 220. In the arena, Dongswini and Jiang Julio's battle was about to begin. In the eyes of the onlookers, there was nothing much to see. The number 1 expert in the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings versus the last person in the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. The result was obvious. Even someone as arrogant as Ouyang Duan was staring fixedly at the movements of the 2 people on the dueling platform. In the previous Dragon and Phoenix rankings, there were only 3 people who fought against Jiang Zhulu. They were Dong Xinyi, who was ranked first on the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboard, Ouyang Duan, and Jing Wushang, who was ranked third on the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboard. However, Jiang Zhulu was the only one who managed to escape unscathed after fighting the 3 of them one after another. Although he had lost, Dong Xinyi and the others had no choice but to admit that he was very powerful. On the stage, Jiang Julio's spiritual sea had already engulfed the entire stage in an instant. Furthermore, the quality of the spiritual sea within the spiritual sea secret technique continued to rise with the influx of spiritual energy from heaven and earth. Behind Jiang Zhulu, 18 life souls were summoned in an instant. The moment these 18 life souls appeared, they immediately entered Jiang Julio's spiritual sea. After the 18 life souls entered his spirit sea, Jiang Zhulu summoned a bluish-black blue water mystical flood dragon to circle around him. The blue water mystical Jiao was already at the final stage of becoming a true dragon. Although it had not completely transformed into a true dragon, its strength was also extraordinary. The moment Jiang Julio's jade water mysterious dragon appeared, it instantly caused an uproar below the stage. This should be the blue water mysterious dragon of the 19th heaven? That's right. At present, this is the highest level life soul. It's a little interesting. I remember that senior brother Jiang Julio's strongest life soul in the last Dragon and Phoenix role was only 17 skyrocketing. I didn't expect senior brother Jiang Zhulu to awaken a 19th firmament life soul. I remember that senior brother Dongswini's life soul seems to be the Dark Knight Pearl life soul from the 18th heaven. This situation is extremely disadvantageous to senior brother Dong Xuanye. After Jiang Zhulu summoned a group of life souls, 18 blurry pitch-black pearls appeared behind Dongswini. This was Dongswini's life soul, the Night Profound Orb. Look, senior brother Dong Xuanye is using the Profound Night Pearl. Strange. Does senior brother Dong Xuanye only have one life soul? I've watched so many dragon and phoenix rankings competitions, but I've never seen senior brother Dong Xuanye use another life soul. After everyone thought about it, they also expressed their agreement. In Dong Xuanye's previous battles, his opponents had either been instantly killed by him or killed by the mysterious night orb. Up until now, only Ouyang Duan and Jiang Zhulu were not included in this rule. Although the other experts in the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings had not fought with Dong Xuanyi before, they would not be able to escape the same fate. On the viewing platform in the distance, the group of elders secretly praised Dong Xuanyi and Jiang Zhulu. Why is Dong Xuanyi's Dark Moon Profound bead only at the 18th level of heaven? He should be conserving his strength. Judging from his confident appearance and his past style, this kid has at least reached the 20th layer of heaven. Unlike other life souls, the Dark Moon Pearl existed in every heaven. Only by awakening the Dark Moon Pearl Life Soul in every heaven could one obtain the true Dark Moon Pearl Life Soul. Furthermore, with every awakening of the Dark Moon Pearl Life Soul, the Dark Moon Pearl's ability would increase correspondingly. Chapter 221. In an instant, all of Dong Xuanyi's night pearls were raised to the peak of the 19th heaven. Amazing! What happened? Dong Xuanyi raised his 18 soaring heaven life soul to the 19th heaven life soul. F***ck, there's such a thing. The world is really big and full of wonders. Life souls can be used like this. Now senior brother Dong Xuanyi and senior brother Jiang Zhulu are evenly matched again. What do you mean by evenly matched? Don't you know that senior brother Dong Xuanyi is invincible among those of the same level? As long as he's on the same level as his opponent, senior brother Dong Xuanyi is undefeatable. So powerful? Then I can take a good look. Jiang Zhulu pointed his finger. The emerald water serpent roared and charged at Dong Xuanyi. Dong Xuanyi also waved his hand and controlled the 19 night pearls to meet the serpent. Then, Dong Xuanyi extended his body and leaped 90 feet, instantly jumping out of the range of Jiang Zhulu's spiritual sea. He had fought against Jiang Zhulu before. Although he had won, he knew how powerful this secret art spiritual sea was. Below the arena, Tang Ao looked at Dong Xuanyi, who had jumped into the air. Tang Ao's heart skipped a beat. When Dong Xuanyi had jumped into the air, Tang Ao had sensed 7 streams of light rapidly enter his body. For Tang Ao, who had reached greater mastery of the 7 slaughter art and initial mastery of the 7 slaughter divine way, the 7 streams of light were no stranger to Tang Ao. They were the greater mastery of the 7 slaughter art. Sure enough, in the next moment, countless palms that contained terrifying auras blasted toward Jiang Zhulu, who was in the arena. These multicolored palm prints were like a meteor shower sprinkling down on the dual platform. Due to their extreme speed, the friction between them and the air produced a series of ear-piercing explosions. The moment Dong Xuanyi used this move, a light screen rose from the arena and covered the entire arena. If such a terrifying move affected the spectating disciples, especially the weaker outer sect disciples, the consequences would be unimaginable. Many of the surrounding female disciples cheered when they saw Dong Xuanyi's magnificent move. Girls naturally liked beautiful things. For these female disciples, this kind of gorgeous and powerful move was their unremitting pursuit. What they didn't know was that this dazzling martial skill was the 7-kill massacre art. Seeing this, Tang Ao also thought to himself, should I also show off like this? On the viewing platform, the second elder of 7 kills sect stroked his beard in relief. Dong Xuanyi's 7 slaughtering heavenly elephant's palm is already 70% of my proficiency. Given time, it will definitely become a great weapon. Second elder, that's enough. In my opinion, not only is Dong Xuanyi's 7 slaughtering heavenly elephant's palm not inferior to yours, it's even superior, the 5th elder said disdainfully. Old 5, what do you mean by this? Could it be that you want this old man to properly demonstrate my 7 slaughtering heavenly elephants' palm to convince you? That's great. My aquamarine agarwood martial skill has just reached the great accomplishment level. I can try it out with you. As the second elder and the fifth elder glared at each other, a slightly aged voice was heard. It's the era of the young now. You little brats better not quarrel. Hearing this voice, the expressions of the few elders changed. In 7 Kills sect, apart from a few seniors who lived in seclusion, they could be considered as the most senior generation. Even the current sect master of 7 Kills sect was a generation younger than them. Moreover, they were all little old men with white beards and hair. Being called little brats, they were instantly displeased. Chapter 222. Facing this person, the 7 Kills sect elders could be said to have no temper at all. This was because this person was the master of the current sect master of 7 Kills sect, perfected Master Fengya. Although Fengya rarely showed himself in the 7 Kills sect, the elders still had a deep impression of this Uncle Master Fengya, whose cultivation was exceedingly high. The fact that the 7 Kills sect had been able to stand tall on the Black Tortoise continent for 10,000 years was also closely related to this perfected Master Fengya. In truth, Fengya had originally been in seclusion to comprehend the Tao when he suddenly sensed the unique undulations of the 7 Kills slaughtering art he had created. Thus he couldn't help but show himself. When he saw Donkswini execute the 7 Kills slaughtering art in the air above the arena, Fengya almost couldn't suppress the desire to take in another disciple. He thought about how his lifespan was coming to an end. If he couldn't climb to a higher realm within 100 years, he would die and his Tao would vanish. It wouldn't matter if he died, but there was currently no one in the 7 Kills sect who could take over his responsibilities as a Grand Elder and protect the sect from the other sections. Thus, Fengya suppressed the thought. At this time, Donkswini's 7 Kills heavenly phenomena palm stirred up a huge wave in Jiang Julio's spiritual sea. The life souls hidden in Jiang Julio's spiritual sea were shattered by Donkswini's domineering palm strike, turning into countless specks of light that instantly returned to Jiang Julio's body. As expected of Senior Brother Donkswini, you are indeed powerful. Senior Brother, take another move from me. If you can take this move, I'll admit defeat. Although Jiang Zhulu hadn't been injured by Donkswini's indiscriminate bombardment, he had suffered a severe backlash from having several of his life souls shattered. In midair, after Donkswini executed the 7 Kills heavenly phenomena palm with all his might, he had expended 50% of his spiritual energy. Expending 50% of his spiritual energy was extremely normal for any cultivator. However, Donkswini had never expended more than 30% of his spiritual energy in the countless battles he had participated in since his debut. As he spoke, Jiang Zhulu put away the other life souls. He had originally planned to fight a long battle with Donkswini. However, Donkswini seemed to have taken stimulants as soon as he entered the arena, instantly unleashing a magnificent and powerful large-scale martial technique. His Spirit Sea secret technique was blown to pieces, and several life souls hidden in the Spirit Sea secret technique were also shattered. After withdrawing the few surviving life souls back into his body, Jiang Zhulu slowly gathered the scattered secret skill Spiritual Sea towards the blue water mysterious dragon. The Emerald Water Mystical Dragon was a peak life soul at the 19th firmament. As the Spirit Sea mystic technique constantly surged into the Emerald Water Mystical Dragon's body, its aura gradually rose. Kacha! It was as if something had broken. The blue water mystical flood dragon's rising aura instantly gave it the strength of a 20th firmament life soul. Roar! The blue water mysterious dragon roared wildly. Waves of invisible sound waves swept out in all directions, causing ripples to appear on the protective light barrier around the dueling ring. Hiss! Roar! After another roar, the emerald water mystical dragon shot out 2 beams of green light from its eyes, shattering the mysterious night pearl life soul that was gathered in one place. However, the strange thing was that, after the profound night orb shattered, it did not immediately enter Dongswini's body. Instead, it floated around Dongswini and gradually condensed again. Chapter 223. On the stage, Attendant Wu's eyes narrowed as he stared at Dongswini. If Dongswini couldn't take the attack, he would instantly dispel it and save Dongswini. In fact, Attendant Wu was originally one of the elders of the 7 Kills sect, and he was the 8th elder. However, he had strongly opposed the Dragon and Phoenix Roll's method of stimulating disciples to raise their cultivation. In the end, the Dragon and Phoenix Roll was established as scheduled. In a fit of anger, Attendant Wu resigned from his position as an elder and became an attendant. In his opinion, the establishment of the Dragon and Phoenix Roll wasn't without reason. He had opposed it back then. He believed that all 7 Kills sect disciples, regardless of their talent, should be given the same cultivation resources and receive the same cultivation guidance. Now, it seemed that this idea did more harm than good. Without the competition to adapt and the pursuit of cultivation, it would instead hinder disciples' progress. Without the competition of the Dragon and Phoenix Roll, the 7 Kills sect probably wouldn't have been able to nurture genius disciples like Dongswini and Jiang Zhulu. Facing the blue water mysterious dragon life soul, Dongswini didn't hold back anymore. Next to the original 19 profound night orbs, a dark and hazy profound night orb slowly appeared. 20 night beads. Dongswini already has the battle prowess of a 20th heaven fate soul, the 5th elder exclaimed on the viewing platform. The 2nd elder also nodded. Even though the outcome hasn't been decided, it's already clear who's stronger. Jiang Zhulu had used a secret technique to raise his blue water mysterious dragon life soul to the 20th heaven fate soul in a short period of time. As for Dongswini, he had awakened a 20th firmament life soul. The spectating disciples below the stage were also dumbfounded. The top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix Roll and those below are the same concept. The top 3 of the Dragon and Phoenix Roll and those below are on another level. That's not just empty words. Senior Dongswini is indeed powerful. He actually awakened a 20th heaven fate soul at the origin martial realm. Yeah, a 20th heaven fate soul should be the limit of an origin martial realm cultivator, right? It should be. In any case, in the secret records of the 7 Kills sect, there has never been an existence who awakened a 20th heaven fate soul at the origin martial realm. The blue water mysterious dragon quickly collided with the profound night pearl of the 20th layer of heaven. A terrifying shockwave erupted between the two of them. On the stage, Attendant Wu, who had wanted to save Dong Xianyi, grabbed Jiang Zhulu and dragged him out of the stage. Just as Deacon Wu and Deacon Wu appeared outside the duel stage, the protective light barrier that isolated the duel stage from the fluctuations fluctuating from the duel stage was instantly covered with spiderweb-like cracks. Then, under everyone's shocked gazes, the light barrier shattered inch by inch. In midair, Dong Xianyi also appeared to be in a rather sorry state, but he was not injured. However, his clothes were ragged and his hair was messy, which somewhat ruined his image as the top expert on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. However, Dongswini did not care about all this at this moment. Just like the previous Dragon and Phoenix rankings, Jiang Zhulu had been defeated by him again. Just like the previous Dragon and Phoenix rankings, he once again felt a deep shock from Jiang Zhulu. Below the stage, Ouyang Duan's face was also ashen as he stared at Jiang Zhulu and Dong Xianyi. Just like the previous time, these two were still his greatest enemies. After the battle between Dong Xianyi and Jiang Zhulu, everyone had a clearer understanding of the top 10 experts of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. The next few matches were also in the middle. The only unexpected thing was that Tang Ao, who had just entered the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings, fought against Fang Xiuwu, one of the three brothers of the Fang family. In the end, Tang Ao used his mastered 7 slaughter method and defeated Fang Xiuwu. After the unexpected result of Tang Ao defeating Fang Xiuwu was revealed, another shocking piece of news appeared. It was that Fang Xiuling, who was ranked 9th on the previous Dragon and Phoenix rankings, defeated Jing Wushang, who was ranked 3rd on the previous Dragon and Phoenix rankings. Chapter 224. This match, Tang Ao vs. Luo Tsai. While Tang Ao was teasing Luo Tsai, Deacon Wu read out the names of the two people. Hearing this duel, the onlookers were instantly excited. Ahaha, the public enemy of the inner sect finally confronts junior sister Tsai. How long do you think Tang Ao can last on the duel platform? I say at most 30 seconds. 30 seconds? In my opinion, at most 10 seconds, no more. Goddess, teach him a lesson. Hearing the noise, Tang Ao walked straight to Deacon Wu. Deacon Wu, I am not a match for junior sister Tsai. I admit defeat. If Tang Ao had said this before, Deacon Wu might have been a little dissatisfied. But since Fang Xiuwu was defeated by Tang Ao, Deacon Wu no longer looked down on Tang Ao. It could be said that he had watched the 3 Fang brothers grow up. Deacon Wu naturally knew how strong the 3 of them were. Tang Ao could defeat Fang Xiuwu, which meant that he was qualified to admit defeat. Tang Ao admitted defeat very straightforwardly, which instantly aroused Luo Tsai's dissatisfaction. What? How dare you look down on me? You are not allowed to admit defeat. Let's have a proper fight. After Tang Ao admitted defeat, Luo Tsai said angrily. This coward really doesn't dare to fight with Goddess Tsai. Don't call her Goddess Tsai. Junior sister Tsai said that she likes us to call her junior sister Tsai. That's good. This coward really doesn't dare to fight with junior sister Tsai. Luo Tsai did not let Tang Ao admit defeat, but Tang Ao walked over and took Luo Tsai's hand, walking down the duel platform. After being pulled by Tang Ao, Luo Tsai's pretty face turned red, and she angrily rolled her eyes at Tang Ao. But she did not break free and walked down the duel platform with Tang Ao. Who is that boy? I want to kill him. Kill him. Lower your voice, this is a ruthless person. How dare you barge into the resting area of the female disciples on the first day of the 7 Kills sect? Not long after he entered the inner sect, he was beaten up by Xiao Gudao, who was ranked 40th on the Dragon and Phoenix rankings. Now, in less than a year, he dared to hold junior sister Tsai's hand in front of everyone. How infuriating! The more the disciple spoke, the more agitated he became. Blood seeped out of the corner of his mouth, but he was completely unaware. Senior brother, why are you vomiting blood? Senior brother, stop talking. You're already vomiting blood. However, the disciple continued to speak. Finally, under the watchful eyes of the other disciples, the disciple vomited blood and fell to the ground. Tang Ao held Luo Tsai's hand and walked all the way to the dueling platform, sitting on the seats for the participating disciples. After sitting down, seeing that Tang Ao had not let go of her hand, Luo Tsai pulled her hand back. Let me go. I have nothing to do with you. You only know how to bully me. If not for the fact that Fang Xiuwu was still lying on the side, the 3 Fang brothers would have surrounded Tang Ao and taught him a lesson. But with Fang Xiuwu's bloody example, Fang Xiuwen and Fang Xiuling extinguished the anger in their hearts and lit up the Buddha's lamp. They looked at Tang Ao and Luo Tsai with a smile. All right, it's already late. Go back and have a good night's rest. We'll fight again tomorrow to determine the rankings. We'll also choose the 5 disciples who will represent the 7 Kills sect in the Netherworld Emperor Mystic Realm trial. Chapter 225. After Dong Xuanyi and Ouyang Duan, the most promising candidates were Tang Ao and Luo Tsai. Up until now, Luo Tsai and Tang Ao had both won 7 out of 8 battles and lost 1. Luo Tsai had lost to Dong Xuanyi, while Tang Ao had lost to Luo Tsai. Other than Tang Ao and the other 3, there were 2 other strong contenders for the top 5. They were Fang Xiuling and another female disciple in the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings, Kashihara Shui. Tomorrow's battle was to select the top 5 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings from these 6 people to represent the 7 Kills sect in the Emperor Netherworld's Mystery Realm. Amidst the cries of the spectating disciples, Tang Ao held Luo Tsai's hand and left the arena together. "This is too embarrassing. Let go of me." Luo Tsai pinched Tang Ao's arm. "You have the Heavenly Phoenix spiritual jade body. I want to protect you and prevent others from having any ideas about you." In addition to protecting Luo Tsai, the reason why Tang Ao acted in such a high-profile manner was that he did not intend to reveal his love for Luo Tsai. "I don't know if others have any ideas about me, but you definitely have. You only know how to bully me." Luo Tsai had hit the nail on the head, and Tang Ao's heart tightened. He held Luo Tsai's hand and squeezed it. Luo Tsai was stunned and immediately understood. She looked at Tang Ao and giggled. "Well, so you already had bad ideas." Luo Tsai reached out and poked Tang Ao's waist. Tang Ao's waist ached and he pulled Luo Tsai into his arms. Ah, molestation. It would have been better if Luo Tsai had not cried out. When she did, Tang Ao realized that he had been talking with Luo Tsai and had unknowingly walked to the resting area for the male disciples. After Luo Tsai cried out, the male disciples rushed out upon hearing the shocking news. When they saw that it was Tang Ao and Li Wuyo, the male disciples who were prepared to watch the show quickly retreated. What a joke! Tang Ao was a vicious person with a fierce reputation. If he was angered, he would suffer for it. After sending Luo Tsai back to the female disciples' resting area, Tang Ao also returned to his own room. Through the past few days of fighting, Tang Ao discovered his own shortcomings. The bloody battle dragon's soul wouldn't be enough for the upcoming battle. Right now, his cultivation had risen to the peak of the 9th level of the Origin Realm. It was necessary to go to the Great Thousand World and find a fate spirit that matched his strength. Tang Ao sat cross-legged on his bed and calmed himself down. His spirit quickly entered the boundless world. After cultivating to this level, Tang Ao didn't look at the life souls in front of him. He went straight to the 20th firmament. After entering the 20th heaven, Tang Ao began to hesitate. The life soul of the 20th firmament was already very powerful. Tang Ao was also quite satisfied with it. However, Tang Ao felt that if he wanted to gain something in the Emperor Hades space, he couldn't stop here. He should try to break through. Staring at the endless pressure, when his spirit was about to collapse, Tang Ao finally reached the critical point between the 20th and 21st firmament. Tang Ao made up his mind and continued to break through to the 21st firmament. After the arms and one leg of his spirit were completely destroyed, Tang Ao finally reached the limit that an Origin Realm warrior couldn't cross. The Great Thousand World, the 21st firmament. After arriving at the 21st firmament, Tang Ao saw all kinds of strange flowers and herbs that emitted a powerful aura, as well as blades, spears, axes, and axes that were filled with a murderous aura. Chapter 226. This was Tang Ao's first time coming to the 20th heaven in this life, but Tang Ao was no stranger to the 21st heaven. In his previous life, Tang Ao's cultivation was extremely high. He had been to the 21st heaven countless times, and even higher, Tang Ao had been there before. Therefore, Tang Ao could be considered to be familiar with the 21st layer of heaven. My current battle strength is already very impressive, but my battle style is too domineering. It's very easy for me to be covered in injuries. and once I'm injured, my battle strength will decrease. Hence, I have to find a supportive life soul that can heal my injuries, Tang Ao thought to himself. In his previous life, his hidden jade constitution in stone had been awakened, so his cultivation path had been smooth sailing. Soon, his cultivation was extremely high, and he became a peerless demon. But he also received the punishment he deserved, or rather, he paid a heavy price. That was invincible for a lifetime, but lonely for a lifetime. Hence, in this life, he had to make up for the regret he had not had in his previous life. He had wanted to live a peaceful and happy life, then enter the cycle of reincarnation and start a new journey. He did not expect to meet a vicious woman like Qin Yueshuang in this life. She had schemed against him, completely destroying his ordinary life. But this was good too. Since you won't let me live an ordinary life, I'll let you know what it means to be a legend. According to the memories of his previous life, there was an extremely good healing support life soul in the 21st heaven. It was called Jade Bone Flesh, but he had been searching the 21st heaven for a long time, so why hadn't he found the Jade Bone Flesh life soul? Tang Ao was puzzled. He had already searched most of the 21st heaven, but he still hadn't found the Jade Bone Flesh life soul in his memories. Could it be that he remembered wrongly? Impossible. In the resting area of the intersect, in Ouyang Duan's room, two figures were standing face to face. The one on the left was dressed in red, with an arrogant look in his eyes. It was naturally Ouyang Duan. And the beautiful girl opposite Ouyang Duan was no ordinary person. She was Kasahara Yuki, who was going to fight for the top 5 of the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboard with Tang Ao and the rest. Senior brother Ouyang, I must enter the top 5 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings this time. As long as you can help me get into the top 5, you can name your conditions. Kasahara Yuki was extremely beautiful, even comparable to Luo Tsai. It was just that her personality was a little cold, and Luo Tsai's appearance and temperament were too outstanding, so Kasahara Yuki's beauty did not attract too much attention. In addition, she had always been cultivating alone and rarely appeared in the intersect. If it weren't for the Dragon and Phoenix rankings competition this time, practically no one in the 7 Kills sect would have known that there was such a great beauty in the sect. Although she rarely appeared in front of the sect's disciples, she was not as popular as Luo Tsai. However, Kasahara Yuki was still very confident in her own figure and beauty. Furthermore, Ouyang Duan was a greedy and promiscuous person. If she were to look for him, she would definitely succeed. Even though Ouyang Duan had not agreed to it yet, Kasahara Yuki knew that he would definitely agree to it. Ouyang Duan had always been interested in Luo Tsai, but she herself did not lose out to Luo Tsai in terms of beauty and figure. Chapter 227. Although she was born with the beauty that most girls dreamed of, she had never cared about her appearance. Of course, if this body could bring benefits to her martial arts path, she was willing to offer this beautiful body. Junior sister Kasahara Yuki, we only need to eliminate one of the 6 people to get into the top 5. You actually came to me for such a simple matter. After taking a deep look at Kasumi, Ouyang Duan poured himself a cup of wine. Alcohol would cause one's thoughts to sink into chaos, but the more Ouyang Duan drank, the clearer his thoughts became. He wanted to see what Kasahara Yuki was trying to say in a clear state. I've paid close attention to the matches over the past few days. There's no need to talk about Dongswenny and you, but I'm also not a match for Luo Tsai. Ouyang Duan continued to drink his wine, while Kasahara Yuki spoke calmly from the side. As long as he didn't go against reason, in order to walk to the peak of martial arts, in order to prevent the tragedy of his family from happening again. She didn't hesitate to pay any price to constantly improve her cultivation. Other than Dong Xinyi, Luo Tsai, and us 3. Can't you handle the remaining Tang Ao and Fang Xiuling? Ouyang Duan stared into Kasahara Yuki's eyes as he asked. Putting aside Fang Xiuling, who possessed the 21st Heavenly Fate Spirit, Ouyang Duan wasn't sure if Kasahara Snow knew that Fang Xiuling possessed the 21st Heavenly Spirit Light Thousand-Leaf Willow Fate Spirit. However, Kasahara Yuki was a veteran who was ranked in the top 10 of the Dragon and Phoenix leaderboard. It would be a piece of cake for her to deal with Tang Ao, who had just become an inner disciple. There was no need to trouble him over such a small matter. He looked at Kasahara Yuki's exquisite face and graceful figure, which were not inferior to Luo Tsai's. Ouyang Duan was very moved, and he also had a strong desire to possess her. Although Ouyang Duan's ultimate target was Luo Tsai, who possessed the Heavenly Phoenix spiritual jade physique, he would not reject a peerless beauty like Kasahara Yuki. If Fang Xiuling only possesses the strength he displayed during the previous Dragon and Phoenix rankings, then I'm naturally confident in defeating him. However, Fang Xiuling had already broken through the limits of the Origin realm not long ago and awakened a 21st layer of powerful life spirit. Even though I didn't want to admit it, I was indeed no match for Fang Xiuling right now. As for Tang Ao, although his current performance is not very eye-catching, but Kasahara Yuzuru did not continue speaking. Her cultivation technique was quite unique, and she could sense the other party's body information to a certain extent. This body information included the obscure emotions in one's heart, as well as the movement of spiritual power within one's body. With this special ability, she could know a lot of things that others didn't. Based on her perception, Tang Ao had only used 60% of his strength in his most serious battle in the past few days. And Tang Ao's opponent was indeed Fang Xiuwu, who had defeated him in the previous Dragon and Phoenix rankings. Over the past year, with her unremitting efforts, she should be able to defeat Fang Xiuwu. However, Kasahara Yuki knew that she would not be able to do so. Even if he could defeat Fang Xiuwu, it would not be as clean and casual as Tang Ao. If he and Fang Xiuwu fought, they would definitely be evenly matched. Killing 10,000 of Fang Xiuwu's enemies would come at a great cost. Ouyang Duan naturally noticed the slight change in Kasahara Yuki's eyes. However, Ouyang Duan was too lazy to care about what Kasahara Yuki was thinking about. Through this short period of observation, he had already determined that Kasahara Yuki truly had a favor to ask of him. Since she had a favor to ask of him, then she shouldn't blame him for being impolite. Junior Kasahara Yuki, you should know my hobbies, right? Ouyang Duan poured a cup of wine and brought it to Kasahara Yuzuru's mouth. Chapter 228. Furthermore, these priceless treasures were only secondary. There was also the rumored Great Tao inheritance left behind by Emperor Hades in the Emperor's mystic realm. Once one obtained Emperor Hades' inheritance, it was highly possible for one to become a peerless expert like Emperor Hades. This was also Kasahara Shue's pursuit of martial Tao. Of course, her pursuit did not stop there. She even wanted to become an existence that surpassed Emperor Hades. Alright, as long as you're willing to give your body to me and become my partner, I will accompany you to eliminate either Tang Ao or Fang Xiuling. I'll help you get rid of either Tang Ao or Fang Xiuling so that you can successfully enter the top 5 of the Dragon and Phoenix rankings and obtain a slot to enter the Netherworld Emperor's secret realm. How about that? After understanding Kasahara Yuki's intentions, Ouyang Duan's eyes lit up with passion. He still had a soul morning spike in his hand. This kind of treasure could even kill a Spirit Sea realm martial artist. Although it could not kill Dong Xianyi, who was protected by a rare treasure, it would be a piece of cake for him to kill either Tang Ao or Fang Xiuling. And this kind of simple effort could be exchanged for a peerless beauty like Kasahara Shue. It was truly something to be happy about. I can give my body to you, but I will not become your partner. I do not want my heart of martial Tao to be shackled. My pursuit is different from yours. In Kasahara Shue's mind, the pinnacle of martial Tao was supreme. As for everything else, it was not important anymore. This was something her father had instilled in her since she was young. It was precisely because she had always doubted this belief that she had lost her parents, her older brother, her younger brother, and her unborn younger sister during one of her training expeditions. Her talent in martial Tao was not weak. If she had believed in her father's beliefs from the start, she would have been able to prevent such a tragedy from happening. Later on, as she cultivated, Kasahara Shue experienced many similar incidents. And because she did not focus on her own martial Tao, and because she was not strong enough, many things happened that she regretted and could not be undone. In several life and death experiences, her closest companions had died. Her senior brother, who had adored her for a long time, died. And all of this, in Kasahara Shue's eyes, was caused by her own lack of strength. As long as she was weak, she would continue to encounter such things. No matter what price he had to pay, he had to become stronger. He had to firmly control his own fate in his own hands so that he would not suffer the torment of tragedy. All right, junior sister Kasahara Yuki, it's a deal. They had drunk quite a bit of wine and were sitting under the dim light. Ouyang Duan was gradually unable to suppress the evil fire in his body. Looking at Kasahara Yuki, who was right in front of him, Ouyang Duan's hand reached out towards her. However, he was instantly frozen by a patch of ice. Junior sister Kasahara Yuki, what do you mean by this? Could it be that you don't believe in my strength? As Ouyang Duan spoke, spiritual energy swirled out from his hand and a clump of flames instantly sprayed out. The ice covering his hand melted instantly. It's not that I don't believe in senior brother Ouyang's strength. After the matter is settled, I will naturally fulfill my promise. Before that, senior brother Ouyang better not touch me. Also, senior martial brother Ouyang should make a move. Regardless of whether he defeats Tang Ao or Fang Xiuling, I don't want senior martial brother Ouyang to take their lives. Otherwise, we'll write off everything we just said. Chapter 229. However, Kasahara Shue continued, also, I will only give you my body once. I need to focus on cultivation and have no time to do such things with you. After Kasahara Shue finished speaking, Ouyang Duan suddenly laughed. He was so angry that he started laughing. For so many years, there were very few things that he couldn't get his hands on. As for Luo Tsai, it was only because her father was the leader of the Seven Kills sect, and her mother was the leader of the Luo family of the ancient era. Due to their power, he had not made a move for a long time. However, it was only a matter of time before he got his hands on Luo Tsai. The trial in the Emperor Hades' mystic realm was a very good opportunity. As long as he and Luo Tsai were together, he had the means to become the leader of the Seven Kills sect and the son-in-law of the ancient era's Luo family. By then, not only would he get his hands on Luo Tsai, but even the Luo family of the ancient era and one of the 8 major sects, the Seven Kills sect, would be his. With the power of the Luo family of the ancient era and the Seven Kills sect, as well as the power of the Ouyang family, he could instantly unify the 6 great clans of the ancient era, then wipe out the other 7 major sects and unify the Black Tortoise continent. Throughout the history of the Black Tortoise continent, there had been countless peerless experts. However, after these experts left behind some legends on this continent, they still returned to dust in the end. They turned into dust and completely vanished from this world. In Ouyang Duan's opinion, he would only be able to obtain the best cultivation resources if he completely controlled this continent. With a vast amount of high-quality cultivation resources and treasures, even a fool would be able to cultivate to a level that would shock the world. Not to mention someone like him who had outstanding talent in the martial way. However, Ouyang Duan only dared to think about these things in his heart. Although he had some ability, his strength was ultimately still not enough. To achieve his goal, he still had a long way to go. To give her body to him, and only once. Recalling what Kasahara Shwe had said, Ouyang Duan sneered. What if I don't agree? In that case, I can only look for Tang Ao or Fang Xiuling and ask one of them to withdraw from the finals with my body. The three brothers of the Fang family followed Luo Tsai all day long like flies, and Tang Ao even pulled at Luo Tsai in public. The two of them were obviously not people who specialized in martial arts, so he believed that the two of them would not reject his conditions. Although Kasahara Yuki only regarded her body as an external object in her martial arts cultivation, she was still unwilling to look for Tang Ao or Fang Xiuling if she had a choice. From her point of view, even though Tang Ao and Fang Xiuling weren't bad, they were still quite a bit lacking when compared to Ouyang Duan. Everything she had was for the sake of becoming a powerhouse. Her body had to be given to a powerhouse in martial arts. With this thought in mind, the first person she found was, of course, Dong Xianyi. However, she did not expect that, after he explained the reason for his visit to Dong Xuanya, the usually cold and stern Dong Xuanya actually blushed and fainted. However, she was still a little stunned. Dong Xianyi, who no one in the Seven Kills sect could defeat, had actually been defeated by her just like that. He had been defeated, right? Junior sister Kasahara Yuki, since you have a favor to ask of me and have come to my place, I should be the one who sets the rules. Ouyang Duan's voice was a little sinister. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.